that was already addressed.
That's changed to comment from public hearing to
Right.
comment.
Right, that should be, and I don't know, it's the resolutions through the ordinances that are the public hearing. I don't know if they want to put that in, we got Commissioner Lori's.
Yeah, we have that.
Like,
So if we can move on to, I guess you go over to 9. We've already changed taking the lake out of the Crescent Fish Camp
Right,
and the CRA. I think we've already discussed the CRA. You had changes to that. You didn't know if we had a CRA, so we've asked the clerk to just verify that.
right,
So
so,
it would just seem odd that it took me 2 minutes to close out
Right.
or recess the first meeting, open up the second meeting. So
and we never
there might
returned.
be just a hiccup, might be a hiccup in the system. It's gonna take a couple of.
I think that might be left over from prior. Under business items 10, the bullet central business district regarding amending ground floor residential, that was, planner Mark Corrett who made a presentation. And I believe that one of the property owners, Mr. Ron Miller, actually spoke. That's not on there. But,
Okay, so we need to add that he spoke, okay, and that Mark Corrett did the presentation, okay?
right, and then whatever it was Mark said we should do, it just, I don't know, Commissioner Lori's, and could the clerk please check and make sure Commissioner Lori's motion was verbatim? Because it just says changes to the central business district. None of this says what those changes are supposed to be. So maybe Mr. Corrett could help summarize it, I don't know, but he gave a presentation, I remember that.
Okay.
Okay, I don't
I
know,
don't know that we need to with the location easement concerning FPL request to negotiate.
but that's, I don't know, it's somewhere near Satsuma.
Okay.
And I don't know, did Mr. Frank present on that, or was that our city manager?
So,
Okay,
That
that
was-
is, all right, I don't remember him being there.
I don't know that David, he wasn't here. He had, yeah.
we can put coordinates, but we didn't discuss that, we just
Yeah.
discussed a.
Okay.
So if we can go over to the,
Go on. Right, further down on the next page, there's a bullet that says Inspired Technologies contract. There was a presentation by the company president, I do not recall his name, but he gave,
okay, so we'll just add presentation by company president, his name, okay?
okay, and then on the next page, under next steps, the third bullet down, I have a concern about that is, and maybe our city attorney can help us out. So that bullet says the contract has an auto renewal clause, but the city can terminate with 30 days notice. So there's still time to decide. I hope that's accurate. Like, there was quite a bit of discussion over which contract applied, because he was presenting a contract that would have had an auto renewal. And there was quite a bit of discussion about whether the current contract had an auto renewal clause and whether we were past that time. And I think we weren't,
I
but,
believe you're correct, I believe we were not.
right, but did it, in other words, I don't know what our status is, but anyway, if that's correct, that's fine. And then under Blue Ribbon Committee, didn't Dan Dodge?
Dan Dodge did present, so
Okay.
he made a presentation, he gave a presentation requesting to extend for 15 months.
Right, and that would have been Dan Dodge, the chairman
Yes.
of the Blue Ribbon Committee. Okay, and I guess that's for,
Okay, and then we go down to 15, and you wanted to change from refusal.
it's really an abstention, but, we can address that in the future, I think,
Okay,
when you look at the procedure and
and then
then.
we've already changed that on the back for Florida League, comes into hero.
Right, so, and that was all I had.
Okay, that was it. Commissioner Moore, do you have anything? You don't have any changes? Okay,
I
can I get a motion?
move that we approve the minutes of July as with corrections that we've discussed.
Okay, do I get a second? Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a proper motion and a second. Any further discussion? If none, all in favor, please say aye. Opposed, nay. Okay, so moved and approved. At this time, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna open it up for public comment. So please come forward and state your name and your address. This is on topics that are not listed on the agenda. They will be heard at this time. And you have 3 minutes, so if anybody, please come forward.
Diane Sykes, Crescent City. There wasn't, the agendas we're missing some agendas, so I don't know if it's on the agenda or not. I was curious as to what the results are of our audit for the past couple of years.
Well, you know for the past couple of years, it's a current audit that they're working on right now.
Oh, we're working on the current right now.
Yeah, Diane, we're up to date on all of our audits. We're working on the current one right now.
Okay, thank you.
Mayor,
Yes.
if I could just clarify, the audit for the year ending in 23,
24. 24.
Okay, but wait a minute, that audit is not done.
That, the audit is not done, that's what we're working on, that's what I said they're working on right now.
Exactly, okay. The audit for the year ending in 23 was completed, I believe, shortly after the beginning of this year.
Yes, and submitted.
Right, and submitted, and is that available on our website somewhere? But if it's not, people can ask at City Hall for the most part.
Oh, yeah, you can absolutely do it.
And then the one for this year is very close to completion. Okay.
And when we come into,
Steve's here.
Do you just want to, just quickly,
What's that?
do you just want to just speak to the audit where we are right now?
Yeah, we're up to, I think, 7 or 8 tasks is all we have to complete. We're just about done. Been trying to get done as much as we can, as fast as we can.
Thank you. Okay, do we have any other public comment? Okay, seeing no one come forward, I'm going to close public comment at this time. And we're going to move on to our presentation. Mr. Weaver, thank you for being here. He's the president of the Historic Property Associates. He's done our state survey, our historic survey. Historic survey update. Welcome.
Thank you, Mayor Myers, city commissioners, and especially to the public. A lot of the people that helped on this project are here with us tonight. Also, I wanted to introduce, again, I'm Paul Weaver, president of Historic Property Associates, and zooming in from Pensacola.
We can't get it to work.
Can't get it to work. Here in spirit is Jenny Wolf, who would contribute greatly to the project that we're going to present to you tonight. So the title is Historic Survey Update Report for the City of Crescent City, and the keyword is update, because this is a follow-up to a project that was done by our company 30 years ago. I hope I'll be around to do the next one. I don't know, but our company did in the mid-90s the original historic property survey of Crescent City, and also a national register nomination in, I think it was listed in December 1996 in the National Register of Historic Places. So 30 years had passed, so it was time to do an update of that. And I'm going to try and see if I can. Okay, there we go. Again, acknowledgements. And there's a long list of people who contributed to this, but I wanted to first recognize Margaret Neal Nelson. She's got a park named after her. Everybody knows her. And as much as anybody, she's contributed to the history of Crescent City. And very much appreciate that. Her collection was invaluable to the work that we did. And also I wanted to recognize a number of people that contributed: Nancy Taylor, Ron West, Michael Frank, Kevin Jordan, Bob Lee, Marion Braddock, Nancy and Marianne are here. Danny Miller is here, who contributed. I think I said Bob Lee. John Newbold really helped a lot with the fern industry. Rachel Kavanaugh, Rachel helped. She always helps me get my PowerPoint set up, which is incredibly valuable. The city administration, Christina Marie, kept us on track. We got it done on time. And even our new city manager, I think Derek pushed the button to send the final report in. So it was definitely a group effort. And as the saying goes, this place really matters, and it really matters to an awful lot of people, most especially Commissioner Laurie, who really, I think this was his passion, shared the old career generals with us. I went through it a lot from Commissioner Kane DeVito's family, going back to her grandmother objecting to the widening of Summit Avenue and taking out all the beautiful oak trees in the early 1950s. So that was a fun thing.
We also have Cherie,
And Cherie Regis, I'm sorry, Cherie.
and Cherie is she is actually our historian now.
Right, and Cherie was there, and actually, I'll get to Cherie at the end of the presentation. Absolutely.
I was gonna say, that's Marguerite right out there.
Yeah,
You were just up in there. You really did.
But the point being, you have a great community, loves the history, and has done a great job of preserving it up until this point. So I wanted to give you a few highlights. This is a map that Ms. Wolf did, part of the survey. There's a historical component, there's an architectural component, and then at the end there are recommendations. But I think this is the survey area, which was the corporate limits. And then I wanted to go through and talk a little bit about some of the exciting findings that we found. One was a lot of information about George Oliver, who in a sense was really, George Oliver, a man from Scotland, and 50 African-American slaves were who founded basically Crescent City. And I had the great good fortune to find George Oliver's last will and testament, about 250 pages, and it tells the whole story. This was a major pre-Civil War plantation. It gave the list of the slaves, the people who worked here, the families, and they were very skilled individuals, farriers, carpenters, people that could run a cotton mill. So this was no mom and pop operation. I guess I was talking before the meeting with some of the people in the audience. This was an advertisement after George Oliver died for the sale of his estate, and it sounds like a contemporary Chamber of Commerce description of Crescent City. But land between two lakes, elevated springs, all of the things that made this place just a remarkable setting. Good hammock land. There were, as he says here, 2 or 3 already flourishing sour orange groves. So outside of St. Augustine, I think this area, the Fruitland Peninsula, is really where the Florida citrus industry began. So very, very important contribution to the state's history. And we get into post-Civil War, Major J.L. Burton. He was really one of the citrus pioneers. Took a lot of that sour orange fruit stock and created his own grove, and also helped others create orange groves in and around the city. This is Bella Hubbard, who created that wonderful Hubbard Park up there, along with his son. I thought this was great. And this is Henry and Kate. They were newlyweds when the Hubbard House was built, and raised their family. Unfortunately, Henry Hubbard died fairly young, after, I think, only about 10 years after the house was built. But somebody who really, I think, had the first scientific approach to citrus cultivation in the state of Florida and is recognized in the Florida Citrus Hall of Fame for his work in entomology. Leonard Eaton, we found a lot of information about him, and he pretty much built everything in Crescent City. We found a couple of additional buildings that had not been known that he built. And one of them was the Hubbard House. It had been unknown, but I found this article in the Palatka paper, Hubbard. It describes the building Queen Anne style and Messrs. Eaton and Hutchinson. And this was not too long after Mr. Eaton came to Crescent City that he built what is a building of statewide significance here in Crescent City. And again, I wanted to go back to I think this is the only picture I've ever seen. Mr. Eaton is the one on the right hand, lower right side, and that's his wife in the middle and his father-in-law, Mr. Hart, on the left, out at their grove. I think it's on the west side of the lake. Another important find that we found, we worked with Dr. Wayne Wood. He wrote the architectural history of Jacksonville. He's very interested in Crescent City and had done a talk recently in Ocala about an architect, Wilbur Talley, who resided up in Jacksonville. And the architect was Roy Benjamin, who was probably the most noted historic theater architect in the Southeast, and designed the DIA theater. That had not been known, and we were able to document that through our newspaper research.
And he also designed Florida Theater and some.
Florida Theater, yeah. And the DIA theater was his second work. He was still a young, struggling architect when he did that. One of the most important, I think, contributions that hopefully we made was the post-World War II era. The previous survey had cut off right around the end of World War II. So we tried to develop a historic context for that post-World War II period. Around 1960 is when the city sort of started branding itself as the vast capital of the world. And many important individuals in the city, A. Philip Randolph, was born here. His father was a minister at the local AME church. We have a chapter on the African American history of Crescent City. Education. I don't think I've ever been in a community where more things burn than Crescent City, unfortunately. The high school. This is 1951. And then, I don't know whether many of you know about the Rosenwald schools. The Rosenwald was the owner of Sears Roebuck, and he provided funds throughout the South for African American schools. And we have a Rosenwald school here in Crescent City. It didn't last very long again. It was one that burned. This is not it, but it was a 6-room school and they had standard plans. So I found this, and this is what it would have looked at. I don't know that anybody's ever produced a picture of what it actually looked like. But it was here for probably, I guess, about 5 or 6 years. Very, very important aspect of the history of the community. Okay. And also, some of the important educators, this Iona Matt Burney was from Denver, important librarian and educator here, and she was the first African American to become a member of the faculty of the high school when we had desegregation back in the 1960s. And also I kind of broke up the section on education, also had a component of the African American educational system here as well. And then Mr. Harry L. Burney was the principal of middle school here and went on to become an administrator over at Bethune-Cookman College. and there's a good bit of information about his work here as well. I thought you would enjoy this. I think Commissioner King, one of the meetings I attended before, said this used to be a bank.
Yes.
And there it is on the left, this beautiful kind of international style, mid-century building, and it's kind of been remodeled, but that's where we're at today. So we tried to do include a lot of historic photographs, you know, sort of before and after to show you where we're at. And this was one of the kind of the interesting finds. We walk around communities and what is so important, well, essential services. How about the waterworks? And I go on and I look through there, there was nothing about the waterworks. And I have to confess, I've done a lot of work and we kind of ignore it, but the waterworks are an important source of fresh water, but how about fire protection too? And this, the Crescent City Water Tower was built, I think around 1924. It certainly appears on the Sanborn Fire Insurance map in 1926. But the company that built it, I think, is the Chicago Bridge and Iron Works. It's not in Chicago, and they never built anything of iron. They're actually in Texas. But they had kind of the patent on this type of tank and built them throughout the United States, including the one that's built over on Benell, that's listed in the National Register of Historic Places. The only difference between your water tower and the Benell water tower is yours is older. And this is one of the things Dr. Wood helped me, the house on the left, it's the Cheatham, the Cheatham house. I used to own the one in the middle with a group of investors. And I saw the Cheatham house and I go, that's the same building virtually. And so I talked to Dr. Wood about it. He was amazed that I, not only did I do, but I had owned it. I owned it for a number of years. And then on the one on the right is from Riverside. These were all designed by Wilbur Talley, a Jacksonville architect. And Dr. Wood made me swear not to say that Talley did it because we don't have the evidence for it, but it's remarkably similar. And he contributed this little montage of photographs and interior, which I think is really very beautiful. One of the sad things to report is we've lost a lot of important buildings in the last 30 years. About 10% of the district, particularly over in the African-American community, there's been a lot of important buildings lost there. But still, the percentage is sound. It's still clearly a qualifying district, and some of our recommendations are about, and as a matter of fact, we have a grant application to update the district, and we're gonna bring in some of the post World War II buildings if we were able to get that. But that's some of the information that's included in the report. And then I really wanted to emphasize, I think, how important the Georgia Middle School community is. Our school is important to the community. We included a section there on financial incentives. We think the building is individually eligible for the National Register, either through an individual nomination or updating inclusion of the school in a updated district. There would be a lot of financial incentives, tax credits. I've done a lot of work with preservation easements where a private developer could come in and take a major deduction for surrendering development rights. There's ad valorem exemptions, there's a lot of things. Right now, only part of that complex is listed is within the district. The things that were built in the 1950s are not considered contributing. And then one thing that's extremely important and a recommendation is the community really needs to find a home for this is Sharif. Sharif, here you are. I didn't forget about him. The Nelson collection the newspapers that Mr. Commissioner Lori has, I think it's really, really important to find a place for those, to digitize them, to preserve them. Because you have a wonderful history and it's pretty much intact. So with that, I don't know whether, I certainly would like to answer any questions. I do, once we answer the questions, I'd like to present the mayor with a copy of our report, if that's okay. But we'll open it up for questions from you, Madam Mayor, and from the commissioners. And if anybody
Any
that's,
questions? Commissioner DeVito.
I have a couple of questions, but also, when Mr. Weaver was giving the credits, which were, very due, the one person who wasn't mentioned was our former city manager, Charles Rudd. I believe it was Mr. Rudd who initiated an application for the state grant that has paid for this
He
survey.
did.
And I
Correct.
believe that it was Mr. Rudd that brought to our attention that the original survey needed updating and that he could apply for the grant. So we owe the financing of this to Mr. Rudd.
duly noted, unfortunately, I never got to meet him.
Right, well, that's okay, but so it's our job to give those thanks for what he did. And I do have questions, but maybe somebody else wants to go. I'm sorry.
So he's on the beach, he's on the beach in Brazil right now.
Well, he's getting a nice reward, but that's okay. I do have a few questions, but if somebody else has them, they can go first. Okay. My questions. So, I looked as much as I could, with my vision problems at the online version. And you kindly brought two, very valuable printed copies. One question I had is, how do we, I guess our National Register District as it is now stands as this until there's an application for an amendment. I noticed there were a multiplicity of files with assessments of individual properties. And it's my understanding that you went back and reviewed every property that was in the original survey or in the original survey or in the original district.
We did everything within the corporate limits, but our focus was on the district.
Right.
Because that's the sort of the practicality, that's what's important. So we did an update of every building that was in the district, including the ones that were demolished.
Okay, so this is my question. I just sampled the individual files that seem to be the review of the individual sites or structures. There didn't seem to be a street address. Like, how do we, is there a key if you want to check on the status of the building? Because one question I have is, I just did a rough count, and yes, it seemed that we had 10% complete structure loss. But I know when they did the original survey, some buildings were deemed not eligible to be contributing structures because of modifications. Did you note those kinds of conditions in the resurvey? And if we wanted to find the status of the building, is there a key to them?
We did a form and did a visual assessment. So there would be an evaluation. Until we do the actual survey update, it would only be sort of a recommendation.
Just preliminary,
Yeah,
okay,
the way to access, unfortunately, it's maddening because the way we do the files is by Florida master site file number, but you can't go out and find something by Florida, but you can go to the inventory if you have a particular building you want. 3 North Summit.
okay,
You go, in the inventory, it's got a Florida master site file number, so then you could go to
and that's
the digital file, or the other thing we did, you haven't seen the hard copies. The hard copies are organized by street address. So
Okay.
everything is Cedar, Cypress, and so you would be able to go to the hard copy
okay.
and and see that. And also, I haven't really, we did this in another community. We're going to give you as a final project the digital updates, but we also have the original 1995 digital files that we will give to the city. And you would do, I guess the easiest way would be through the inventory. If you want to find a particular building, you go to the address, you find the Florida Master Site File number, and then you can go and look digitally at the individual files. So there, I think there's.
Okay, so, and I can see in the printed copy that there is a listing by inventory buildings. And then one building, I saw Jenny Wolf at the Preservation on Main Street conference. And I asked her whether, how things were going, and was Middleton Bernie Elementary School one of the surveyed buildings? And she said no,
It's outside
it's outside the district.
yes.
Okay, but there was some discussion at the original planning and zoning / historic preservation board meeting that you came to and presented to. Some of the members of that board, I believe, asked about Middleton Bernie because I believe it fits within the age category, but it is outside the district.
Yeah.
Okay,
We can do a form on it, that's part of this process is, having you look at it, so.
okay, and then I guess.
But we included an awful lot of historical information. I think it's even more important in the report. There's a whole section on the Bernies, on the school, the whole context of the African Americans. We had a specific section of the report on the African American community and also on the importance of education for the African American community. That's where the Rosenwald School was in that. There's a map of, I guess it's historically was the Whiteville neighborhood that shows the original Putnam County School, where it was located. So there's a lot, I think, to be honest, a lot of original information that hopefully nobody's seen before that we included. So it's not a big deal if we want to do a form on that school, we can do that.
Because there was interest expressed
Okay,
in that 5 minutes.
I appreciate you saying that. So.
Okay, and I think I wrote that. Okay, that's all I have.
That's all you have? Commissioner Lloyd?
I wish Jenny was able to be with us, but, really, what my real question is next steps. Obviously, we put in the grant application to do the update to the National Register. What else do we need to do to move forward here, like for us as the city commission, to make sure that we preserve these buildings and the education is a big part of it?
Well, Jenny in particular put in a section, I think you ought to go on to become a certified locally ordinance governor. And that will provide you technical assistance from the state or your preservation board. It will provide some funding, and that's really kind of the gold seal. So that's part of it. Another thing, and Commissioner Orr, you probably know a lot more about this than I do, but there was, I guess, an ordinance which was supposed to update the historic preservation element, and it's kind of in limbo is the best way I could describe it. That needs to be looked at again, I think, considered, and right, I'm not sure whether your preservation board right now has any authority into the ordinance. I don't know whether it's just advisory, but that was one of the things that we talked with you. I looked over, I'm not an attorney. I wish Ms. Wolf could contribute because she's a historic preservation planner. But we certainly, I would say it might be a good idea. I don't know whether it's the commission or the preservation board. We might want to have a workshop at some point and have Ms. Wolf here or Zoom her in or whatever it might be to talk about that, because we don't want this just to be, there's some momentum here And, this survey 30 years ago was a foundation for a lot of good work. And hopefully this one will be as well.
I believe so.
Because I think it's a wonderful cultural asset, but it's also heritage tourism, it's financial incentives, it's a lot of things that the community identity centers around. I think it's setting and also its history. So this place matters, really does. And we would look forward to working with the mayor, the city commission, and particularly with you and with your preservation board at some point, if you would like to have us come and participate in a workshop.
I appreciate that. I think we definitely would like to have that happen.
And that was one of the goals of, Charles Rudd too, is with the certified local government.
It's in our
So that we
strategic
had to
plan,
have
it's
that,
in our
yes.
comp plan,
So
so we
he
need
was
to.
pushing you.
And you're not far away.
That's why he was pushing you to us too, so. Do you have any other? You good?
I just want to say thank you very much, Mr. Weaver. It's been a long process, I know, but you definitely, here, you need a mayor that booked that and show.
I am settling this by the pound.
Let us see if,
Yes, absolutely. Commissioner Moore?
I'm glad, thank you for the information, but I've never heard of, Rosenwood. That's new to me, I just love that information. But I was concerned, there's on Cedar Street. My grandmother owned a house on Cedar Street, which was a 2-story building. We never could find any information, it burned way back in maybe the early 70s, maybe.
Right.
And we was concerned because someone told me that the house was an old hotel, but I'm not sure.
If
So
you
I
can give me information about it, one of the things that we can provide, and kind of to elaborate on that, when we're going to give you the hard copy of the files, but I was talking with Commissioner Lori. I did a lot of detailed research on individual buildings.
Okay.
That will go as a supplement to the kind of sterile Florida master site files. And one of the things that, I don't know whether it was available or not, but we used Sanborn fire insurance maps of the city from 1926 and I think 1941. That building should appear on that.
Yeah, I think it was in the 40s when she probably, they purchased it.
Right.
It's that right there on the corner, right in front of, Jeffro Baptist Church.
Yeah, I know was it like a hotel?
It was a 2-story building, and she just had, my grandmother would let anyone stay there, didn't have anywhere to stay.
Right.
So she was that kind of person.
Well, at that time, I mean, it was like the Green Book, you had
Yeah.
probably the
And I was a
people.
kid when it burned, so I don't really know information, but I was looking.
I think I remember it, but
Okay,
of course, one of them, we can only, we did something on the Gilbert Institute that burned a long time ago. Unfortunately, we had a very limited amount of time, we couldn't, focus on things a lot of things have gone.
okay.
So we were trying to,
Thank you.
but let me get in touch and I will, one of the things we're gonna have is like general information. And I have done digital copies that I could even email to you
Okay.
of that area and your grandmother's building, I'm sure it's on there. And so we could provide that to you.
Okay, thank you.
the Rosenwald, did he say where it was located?
So, the Rosenwood.
It was Rosenwald. It was up north, it was outside the city.
Okay.
Yeah, the one that I know, and I was sort of fascinated, but it's up, I think, the school was north of the churches. And I can't remember exactly where, but I found newspaper articles in the Blackburn newspaper about it. And they gave like this general description, I was kind of pulling my hair out, and then I went and looked at the Sanborn map, boom, bing, bang, boom, there it was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it's on, I know it's on the 1926. So we can put it to a specific lot and block in the city. So, but, thank you for your questions, and I know I can send that, it's very easy for me to send that to you. and we can communicate if,
Commissioner Burton?
No, I'm good.
You're good? Okay. Any other questions? We're good? All's good?
may I present the report?
Absolutely. Thank you very much. Thank you for all your hard work.
I'm not sure what I'll do now after, is there life after Crescent?
There is another one that's,
Yeah,
so this was quite a bit larger than that other one.
Yeah,
Well, thank you.
it was 250 pages, a labor of love to the community, so thank you all very much.
Like meeting for anybody located on the clerk's desk, with the clerk.
And I gave a second copy, we brought 2 copies, the second copy to Commissioner DeVito, and I think Commissioner Lord, we talked about, hopefully, there's unlimited digital copies, but I will confess, a lot of the detail, we did it in color, a lot of the detail on these maps and different images comes out better, to me at least, than the hard copy, so let us know, and we look forward to continuing to work with you in the future. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much.
Mayor, can I just say one thing as a wrap very quickly? I think we also owe a lot to the people who spearheaded the first survey. Commissioner Rory mentioned that was a lot of volunteer effort. I think our former mayor and county commissioner, Nancy Harris, was a huge leader in that. And my observation is, the Historical Society, which Commissioner Rory and I are part of, and Dan Miller and quite a few people in the audience, we have been very concerned to see over the years that there was a big effort to do the survey, and then the preservation element didn't happen. And I think Crescent City missed an opportunity because, and I think Mr. Weaver can verify this, in communities that preserve their historic buildings, property values go up, and it leads to economic prosperity. So I think it's an asset that we have, and I'm hoping that we can follow Mr. Weaver's recommendations and make good use of those assets.
Okay, thank you. Okay, now we're going to move on, if we can, to the sheriff's office. And I would like to introduce not the Captain Ussery, but now our Major, David Ussery. As of August 1st, everyone, let's give him a round of applause. Very well deserved, very well deserved.
Less freedom and more responsibility.
Sorry.
The further you go up the chain, the less freedom you have. That's obviously one of the advantages and disadvantages. So, in respect of your time, we'll go ahead and move into the report on how much to go over this month, which is a good thing for Crescent City. The first one we're going to is a aggravated assault, was at 896 North Summer Street. Don't want to discredit McDonald's at all, however, that came from outside of the county and into the city. Someone stopped here to get something to eat there, and a gentleman decided to brandish a firearm after a domestic dispute. After a thorough investigation, obviously by our detectives, we subsequently obtained video footage that confirmed this incident to have happened, and we eventually made an arrest after a warrant was obtained for Mr. Joseph M. I'm gonna say Egley, or Egley. So he is still incarcerated at this time. Any questions on that one? Second was a traffic crash, basically another rear end, car driving the road, somebody not paying attention behind them, and hits the rear of the car in front of them. Now down to the meat and potatoes, we had 222 total calls for service, 70 of those being traffic stops, 1 being traffic accidents, 16 reports, 6 arrests, and 1 warrant affidavit was obtained, and we eventually made an arrest on that gentleman. That was the first case we talked about earlier. Any questions? Here's your 100% crime reduction for the month of July. All joking aside, this is awesome for Crescent City and South Button, so good job, my guys. That's all I have for that so far. I know we have some other stuff to discuss. I don't know if we've moved that on the agenda a little bit up, but whenever we're ready to move into that.
We did. Do we have any questions of Major Ussery before we go into the, yes?
I just have one question. The statistics for calls for service and crime within the city limits, Is that information available as aggregated for South Putnam? Or would it have to be for the whole county?
I can do it by geographical location, that's very time consuming, but I can actually take certain areas, whichever area you're asking about, and yes, I can gather that information, we have the ability to do that.
But
The
you-
software we have, I can either, like with what I do with Crescent City is, I take a very specific map and I draw a map all the way around Crescent City with the program we have, and that's where I get all my data from. So while there are things that can happen just outside of Crescent City, like traffic accidents or even a traffic stop that may be outside of the city limits, I don't count those things. So just as an idea, if a deputy is working traffic at the intersection of Junction and 17, and the vehicle's running the stop sign going south of 17, it's probably calling the traffic stop outside of Crescent city limits, so we're not getting credit for that. I'm giving you everything that's happened in the state inside of Crescent city limits. Even when we went to arrest this other gentleman, that while that warrant affidavit was on there, they kept that in arrest because that happened outside of the city limits of Crescent City. So even though we are getting information and obtaining information on things that are happening in Crescent City, maybe making arrests outside of it, we don't get credit for certain things. The actual call happened here, but I may not be able to count the arrest, it's just so time consuming to get that information. So what you're seeing there is what is in my little box that marks the city limits of Crescent City and everything inside of there.
But the measure, or these statistics are available for the county as a whole, correct?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Okay, that's all I'm saying, thank you.
Any other questions? Commissioner Britton? No. You good?
You sure?
No, I'm not, but I'll pass for them.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Okay, do we want to lead in?
Yes, at this time, we can go ahead and Mr. Alan Sharp, if you could come up and speak, I'd like you to discuss our agreement for law enforcement services.
As all of you know, our agreement is up for renewal. And so you have before you made copies, you have before you the proposed agreement from the sheriff's office.
That's correct. Alex Sharp, Putnam County General Counsel for the Sheriff's Office. It's a pleasure to be back here. I don't think I've been back here in about 6 years, maybe 5, I'm not sure. But yes, the contract that you have in your hands has been reviewed by myself and your city attorney, Don Holmes. There were some last minute changes to it in the monetary amounts and the duration. We have shortened the duration down to 1 year in consideration of what the fiscal climate is right now, so that you're not locked into a 3-year term. In addition, we've also reduced the amount back to the original amounts that we started with on the last renewal. And that's what we're presenting to you tonight.
So it's the same amount that we have had for the past 4 years.
That is correct.
Okay, we're going into our 5th year. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner.
And
And I'm here to answer any questions if you have any questions.
okay. Do you have anybody have any questions?
I have one question.
Okay.
But before that, I have an observation. I think this is just for my fellow commissioners, I think this is very helpful to us because it is a tight budget year and we are maintaining the same price. So I have 2 questions for Mr. Sharp.
You said 1, Commissioner.
Well, now I have 2. Now I have 2. So, the way you phrased it was, we're not locked in for more than 1 year. But my concern is, hopefully the sheriff's office contemplates continuing to have this contract with us so that we can have supplemental services for the city.
I can assure you the sheriff and the command staff are dedicated to providing law enforcement services for the city of Crescent City.
For the supplemental ones.
Yes,
Okay, because
absolutely.
we know we're entitled to the same services.
You are entitled to the basic
Extended
services.
service, so
Right,
the extended service that we
And
contract for.
then just my question about the contract on page 7, there's an item number 4, I don't know what the overarching section is, but it's on page 7.
I would have to, may I borrow your contracts there?
Alex.
Thank you.
Page 7. And I think we talked about this during the last renewal, but maybe not. So when you get to page 7.
I'm
there's-
there, Commissioner.
Okay. There's a paragraph labeled 4, and then it's the part about hiring and training.
That's correct, Commissioner.
Okay, and so we still need that paragraph, because that came from the original, startup contract where you didn't have those 5 deputies.
And to answer your question, law enforcement is a revolving job. We're constantly hiring people.
Right.
They have to attend, actually, I'm teaching the academy, the law section of it. They attend an academy, a day class, probably about 6 months. Once they're out of the academy, then we do a 4-month, up to a 4-month training program. And it does take time to bring in new deputies. And we needed that clause back then when we first originally did it, and we need it now. But at no time would you not have coverage out here that the contract states. But we need that buffer in there to allow us to recycle people and get them on the streets.
But we will still be receiving the 1 additional deputy per shift. For the-
The coverage will continue, yes, Commissioner.
Okay, I don't really, I've never understood why that has to continue, but things have worked out, so hopefully they will continue to work out.
I think it has to continue primarily because just like any employer,
We lose
people
them.
come and go, you know, and.
The
so
surrounding
it's tough.
areas, the starting pay for surrounding counties is significantly higher for us.
No, I know all that, but the issue was in the original, the startup contract, we were going to have like specific officers and they had to be trained, and we wouldn't have them until they were trained, those specific officers. But now, as we go forward, it just seems a little contradictory, because there will be no lapse in coverage, right? I mean, that.
No, there will be no lapse in coverage.
So, I mean, it's slightly different circumstances, and as I said, it's worked out. I know deputies get trained, but I think this had to do mainly with the initial agreement, but it's all worked out. So it seems to be a little bit of a contradictory provision, because we're not really waiting on anyone. You put someone in that slot for us, and we get the service.
We do.
Okay, that was all I had to ask.
Okay, anybody have questions? Commissioners? Moore, Commissioner Burton?
Okay.
I just, on behalf of, and I hope I speak for the entire commission and the city, we are so appreciative. We know that both you and Major Ussery had a lot to do with this, as well as Chief Blunt and most especially Sheriff Gavrovich. And so we are so appreciative for your willingness to work with us this year and help us all get through what we're all dealing with. We know you also have budget constraints,
We do.
extensive budget constraints, and as do we. But I just want to say, and please take that back, how very appreciative, and, you know, for any of you that want to question or have any questions about this, if you look at other areas, we are very blessed. We are, I consider us to be very blessed, with the contract that we have in place. And, this is going into our 5th year. And thank you all for making us safe, and a desirable community for people to live into. Do we have anything else? When we have this before us, we can, if commission so wants, we can go ahead and we can approve this. We have to have it, in place by the end of September.
Right, but if it's in place now, then we can go ahead and base our budget on it.
Yes.
Which seems prudent for us to do.
Commissioner Burton, you have.
I do have one more question to Captain Ussery, who's soon to be Major Ussery.
He already is.
Major,
He already is.
He just hasn't changed his name tag, so
Yeah.
it still says Captain.
Who's taking your place?
Nobody just yet. But when I have that person taken, now here's what I have agreed, everybody's straight
They
out.
fill shoes to fill,
So
is
I
that?
have requested from the sheriff and chief one that I still get to communicate with you guys, and I still will be here every month for the meetings. My everyday activities that I normally had down here be stretched a little thin. I'll try to get down here a little more, or a little more than I can. But for right now, I do not have a replacement for myself, but I have asked to be able to keep the services of Crescent City. So me and the new city manager here and the mayor will be in direct contact. You guys, most of you guys have my phone number anyway, so just call me anytime.
You're gonna be sorry for that, yeah.
No, I'm not, no, I'm not. This is, when I say it again, when I drive through almost the entire county to come down here, this has always been my little diamond in the rough, and just don't want to give it up yet. So you still got me for a little while.
That's okay, that's okay. May I have a motion?
I would like to make a motion. Okay. I would like to move that we approve the agreement for law enforcement services between Crescent City and the Putnam Sheriff's Office that was provided to us today, and that we authorize our mayor and city manager to execute this agreement upon approval by our city attorney.
Second.
Okay, I have a proper motion and a second. Do we have any other discussion? Do we have any public comment? Okay, seeing no public comment, and no more discussion, I'm gonna go ahead and, yes.
I just have
to be there.
one point to raise. I know that people have noted that we have a higher millage rate in Crescent City, but other than one other municipality, we're the only municipality in South Putnam that provides these additional services. And our officers, as they did with our predecessor agency, provide backup for the rest of South Putnam, just like our fire services do. So I think it's a benefit to the whole area.
Absolutely, and having the sheriff substation here is also for South Putnam. That's, I think, a huge benefit for everyone in the surrounding South Putnam area. So thank you for bringing that to our attention. Madam Clerk, if you would please do a roll call.
Commissioner Burton,
Aye.
Commissioner Moore,
Aye.
Commissioner Lori,
Aye.
Commissioner DeVito,
Aye.
Mayor Myers.
Aye. Okay, so approved, thank you. I also asked, this is a little bit off, but while he is here, Mr. Sharp, if you want to just real quickly, the county is currently, working with the sheriff's office, and they've asked us, I'll let you speak to it, the copy for everyone, just to kind of look over for the next.
Copy for everybody.
Thank you.
Mayor, while he's getting those out, I want to touch base on one thing that I forgot about, sorry for the interruption, but council, can you maybe touch base on the ordinances as well?
I was gonna, thank you for,
Like the regular county ordinances, that we're working on the judiciary process and stuff like
Yes.
that.
yes, I will. I'm gonna address this one first. If you've been following the local news, we had an issue where a trailer park within the county was harboring, there's no other way to say it, was just housing sex offenders and sexual predators. And subsequently, we did a little research, and we found out that all of the other surrounding counties around Putnam County have a more stricter local ordinance in place to where they can reside and what they can do. And what we found were 60 to 70% of these people that were living in this trailer park were sexual offenders and sexual predators that were not local to our area. And Sheriff Deloach takes the crimes against children very seriously, and he instructed us to draft something together to give our law enforcement a little more teeth when dealing with these. And this is the product of it right here that I've handed to you. The county commissioners voted on it today for the first reading. At the second meeting, hopefully it should be passed. We are asking that, and I'll be going to all the municipalities, but you guys are the first. I will be asking all the municipalities to adopt this as well, so that we have a uniform ordinance across the entire county, to where the officers, whether they be in Crescent City, or maybe even the city of Palaca or in the unincorporated areas, there's one common standard for where a sexual offender or sexual predator can reside. And I'll let you read it. It's a little lengthy, but you'll get the gist of it as you read through it, what we're trying to do, which is extend the links to where they have to stay away from schools, bus stops, certain holidays, whether they can reside together and so forth. And the ordinance actually criminalizes a violation of it. It's a second-degree misdemeanor, which is punishable up to 60 days in jail or a $500 fine. And that would dovetail in what the mayor was talking about. I know we've always had a issue with the ordinances out here in Crescent City and law enforcement enforcing them. And we're also working on some other measures for the animal control to get some ordinances in place where we can issue citations again. And also, I believe I was instructed to maybe work with your new city manager about going back and criminalizing some of your local ordinances that you have an issue with. So it will give our deputies some more teeth when they're dealing with problem areas or things that you find are a quality of life issue.
Okay. And that would require us to criminalize through our ordinances.
Yeah,
City
I
ordinances.
wouldn't say all of them, and Don could speak to that. I mean, the ones that you have issues with, and if there's, I just use an example, trespass in a park or something to that effect, being in the park after hours or something like that. The one that comes to mind is open container law in the city of Palaca. That was a quite frequent one that we cited back in my previous tenure as a police officer. So it'd be whatever that you wanted to convert over to.
I've been trying to keep you updated a bit by email on the opportunities. How's that? That come along with you trying to pass ordinances and then enforce them. I think at this point I've pretty much given you an overview of what your processes would involve and cost, at least in concept. Obviously, I don't know about the cost of the hearing officer, because that was something that was still being worked out with the city taking the primary lead in that city of Palaca. So just remember that if what we're enforcing is a state statute, it is handled in the state framework. If you're going to try to enforce city ordinances, you're going to have to make provisions for those different personnel and processes that are referenced in my emails, i.e. A hearing officer that you'll be paying for, a per cost charge to process the citations through the clerk's office. That's probably the smaller of the costs involved. Prosecutor or I guess for lack of a better term, special prosecutor, city attorney, designate somebody to prosecute the ordinance violation, because the state attorney's not going to. And I'm not saying that in a critical way. If they open the door in Putnam County or for the city of Crescent City, then they feel like they've got to open the door circuit wide, and they just don't feel like they have the manpower to handle ordinance violations. So they have declined. So you've got that whole framework to establish and the costs associated with it. So just keep that in mind before you get too excited about criminalizing a bunch of your city ordinances.
The cost of it.
Generally in a city, the city attorney would be the prosecutor. Am I correct, Don?
I'm not sure if I can handle that job.
again, maybe it's just gonna be an option that we're presenting to you. And we just want to make it known that we're available to assist you on that. I work well with Don. He tells me what to do and I do it. But it is an option. And I know that's been a discussion point about our services out here. And I do believe that overall it's going to benefit the quality of life in the county.
Mr. Sharp, with this ordinance, so what you're asking for the city is to adopt it pretty much verbatim, if we were to do this.
Yes, I think you can just, and Don will correct me on this.
I haven't read it, so.
But I mean, you could do a resolution, I believe, just to adopt and name the ordinance. I don't think you have to create one yourself specific. Can they do that, Don? Just do a resolution?
No, but they can copy your ordinance.
And just put Crescent City in place of Butler County? Okay.
Okay.
Thank you all.
Thank you
And it was a
again.
pleasure to come back.
Thank
We should do it quicker than 5 years before.
Alex, you don't have to leave. We're gonna be going for a while longer.
And I believe,
10, 11 o'clock is our usual time.
Commissioner Moore has a little treat. But thank you for coming down.
As much as that intrigues me, I have a little 2-year-old at home that's waiting for me. I'm gonna probably escape, but thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you, and please share with Chief Blunt and the sheriff. our
Yes.
appreciation.
I will bring that back to them, Commissioner.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Okay, with that, we're going to move on to our, I'm gonna recess this meeting and open up our CRA. And so, do you wanna?
Yes, Christina?
Sure. We have the topic of renewing the Crescent City Downtown Partnerships Memorandum of Understanding with the CRA. Obviously, we're in budget season and we want the contract expires, we have this fiscal year. And that's for renewal.
I have a question there. Okay, so the contract doesn't expire until September 30th, correct? That's the end of our fiscal year. We are in the middle of developing our budget. We don't have first reading, we have first reading
In September.
in September. So, it seems to me that it might be a better idea. I don't have a problem reviewing this information, and I'm glad that it's been presented. But I hesitate to renew the contract until, which is part of the city budget. If we renew it now, that locks us in to a certain extent for a certain period of time. I think, I don't know if there's an out clause here, is that right?
I'm not sure what the outlaw is, what they're referring to.
Well, it's in the
I think today, because as we know that this is going to expire at the end of September, so that this has just given us the first review of it, as we go forward.
Right, because I think it was presented as a request to renew it today.
It says review and renewal, but.
Right, so I would be more comfortable reviewing it. I think it's very important information, but I feel like we should maybe review this in the context of the whole budget, just in fairness to everybody. I mean, I think, I don't have any problem with it, but I just would rather, we had a very preliminary discussion on the budget with quite a few questions to be answered. So,
Okay. Do you have, well, I believe we have,
not their budget, our budget.
I know,
Okay.
did you have any other questions of them?
No.
At all? Okay, as we go forward? Okay.
Well,
I mean, because this is, as, you know, we have to consider this, and I know, Christina Marie, you're still, I think you sent that over to Dawn for an opinion? You've gotten several different answers. So
Yes,
you're
ma'am.
asking for some clarification
Yes, ma'am.
on the monies.
Whether the CRA can
Yes.
fund our Main Street program. So,
I'll try to get with you. Is the Main Street program part of your CRA plan?
yes.
We have in there, do you have that, Christina? Can you,
Sure.
do you want to read that just for?
So we have CRA goals and objectives 25 through 27 that are identified in our master plan. And goal number 28 states that the Florida Main Street and Crescent City Downtown Partnership coordination coordination with Florida Main Street and support the Crescent City Downtown Partnership for economic vitality, design, promotion, and organization. Objective 1 is to contract with the CCDP to administer the Main Street 4-point approach in Crescent City. Objective 2, maintain representation of the CCDP Board of Directors with the city manager or his or her designee that has the authority to represent the city.
And your Main Street district, or excuse me, your CRA district and your Main Street district, they are the same?
They overlap.
Our central CRA, yes, sir.
Your
Our central CRA is, our Main Street program area is within our central CRA.
And you'd be taking the money from your central CRA funds, or do you have different budgets for your different districts?
Yeah, central.
If it's part of your plan, then traditionally that is the key ingredient, is that it be a part of the CRA plan. And it sounds like it's specifically referenced in your plan for the central district. So as long as the budget, the funds come from that particular tranche of funds, then I don't see a problem with it.
Thank you.
That's my understanding too, as long as it's addressed in the plan. It has to be addressed in the plan before we can expend anything. Yes, Commissioner DeVito.
Right, so the issue, I believe, that Christina Marie raised the last time was that she was told at a conference that the CRA shouldn't be paying for Main Street if it pays for marketing.
Yes, ma'am, that's correct, but being that it's stated in our plan, otherwise is the case. So we're fine having it out of our CRA federal budget.
So I don't know where the marketing comes in, if it's part of the plan, but normally the key ingredient of consideration is, one is, are the funds being expended in the district, the CRA district, and 2, is a defined part of the CRA plan. So with those two elements being present, I do not know about the marketing, where that's coming from or how that comes into play, but the question was simply, do I think that it's possible to use the CRA funds to support the Main Street? And it sounds like y'all specifically provided for it in the plan.
And in the MOU, it specifically states that the CRA has budgeted funds to support the administration, not the marketing, but the administration of the Main Street program on behalf of the city. So if marketing is an issue, I think that would probably cover it. But I know she was looking for some clarification. Commissioner DeVito, did you have a?
No, I would think that would cover it. I was very surprised we would throw maybe out the bathwater in the budget. That, it seemed to me to be an extreme reaction. I don't see why we can't continue as we are now.
Well, in the proposed budget, we still kept the 50 in there, and we also put in the general just in case. And that was just,
That's what I
when
mean.
she said that, I
Yeah.
don't think we were throwing, baby out with the bathwater. I think we were just needed some clarification, that's my understanding.
But that $50,000 in the general fund budget would be a lot. That was not planned on.
It would be a lot, that's why we were hoping that it could definitely be funded out of the CRA.
So that's been addressed. All right, great.
So I guess we'll bring this back at the, September 10th. Okay.
Motion to that.
I can, if you want to make a motion.
So all of the stuff that we're looking at today is, or not, is that?
No, it is, I mean, it's something that, it gives you kind of, where we go from here. And that's what we're,
Because I know I can just tell you right
do
now.
you have some questions? Yeah,
Well,
you have some
I'm
questions,
just
by all
not-
means.
I'm just not really,
They're here, so
yeah, I know. Not really impressed with, our net income rate right now. I'm not sure what's driving that, and, I'm not sure if you can answer that right now, so,
If you want, they're here, so if you wanna ask
well,
them.
it's, we're handing you $50,000, let's just say that. I see your biggest, what you're paying is the exec director's salary, is your biggest payment, and then after that, of course, is your rent and lease fee. And we're ended up at minus $5,000 right now, so I'm just curious what happened and why are we not, bringing in any more money to go to the next quarter, which is coming up, in the fall. So are you going to be able to make that money up, I guess?
And this is the third quarter, so this is the third quarter P and L that you have before us.
Yeah, Mary Robbins, board member, Downtown Partnership. Yeah, and as you know, third, fourth quarter are big quarters, always have been. It's when our festivals occur, fundraising starts, so, we expect to be bringing in more money, starting this next quarter.
This doesn't show your actual bank balance, this just shows the P and L for this quarter, correct? I don't know what paper they're looking at, but I'm assuming.
It doesn't, it's not.
Yeah, the financials you're looking at will run, I believe, last Monday.
So that's just the P and L.
Yeah.
But you have money in the bank, it's not like you're bankrupt. I think is.
No, I'm gonna say,
Yeah.
he's asking if you're bankrupt, I don't believe it's your bankrupt.
No.
But I'm just wondering, I mean, that's,
I think we're showing 19,000 there.
No, I'm saying, this doesn't give a full picture.
No, it doesn't give a real clear picture.
This is just,
Okay.
Okay, I just hope that, I'm not seeing that at the end of the year.
Yeah. Yeah, we would normally do our update for you next month, and request the next quarter with our financial packet. This kind of came to us Friday.
Okay.
So, you sort of have what we have on hand.
Okay.
So,
And I think it's, I think we can speak to that, it's because we do needed to talk and start this conversation, because we don't want to come in September and there be questions and then have to move it out, so at least this gives us an opportunity.
Okay.
So
do you want
apologize
to
for
report,
late notice.
do you want to report in September or now?
Commission.
well, when they request the next, when you do the next request, we would just do the normal report, I believe.
Yes.
Which should be September.
It'll be September.
So if you'll recall, in the current budget, it's 37.5. Because there was a transition here, and so
Right.
Mr. Rudd asked that it not start until December, when all the duties would exchange. This year it's 50. So it's, as we go into our budget, being able to kind of justify why we came from 37.5 up to 50. Well, we had agreed to 50,
Right.
originally, however, in the current budget, because it started in December, or January, that it was 37.5 is what we budgeted.
Gotcha.
So we just have to, we're going through budget right now, we have to have some justification. Because we have fiduciary responsibility, just as, with all of our budgets, or all of our different areas.
Right.
So,
Okay. All right. So September?
September.
Okay.
Sounds good, thank
See
you.
you then.
Thank you.
I
You
move
want a
that,
motion?
do you want a motion?
No, yes, I do, absolutely.
I move that we, table the renewal of the MOU with the Crescent City Downtown Partnership until September.
Do I have a second?
Yes, second.
We have a proper motion and a second. Do we have any further discussion?
I just want to say we have, before us, I think these were just provided today, in addition to profit and loss statement, we have their completed activities, June through August. I think they've been very active. I was pleased to see the new executive director attended the Preservation on Main Street conference, which was a very good conference. And I agree that there's a note here on their activities that says the sessions of conference were highly relevant to local needs. I would really agree to that. And I really do have to compliment Mr. Jefferson on being present downtown and very active. People tell me that they've met him and that he's doing a lot to move this thing forward and get acquainted with local businesses. So just want to bring your attention to that.
Okay.
And I would like to note, Mr. Jefferson and I plan on meeting, this week and having regular meetings every other week to work together on the, master implementation plan, our strategic plan and whatnot. So, we can game plan together and work more closely with the partnership as far as, our implementation plans.
Thank you. Thank you for that. So we have a proper motion and a second. Do we have any other discussion? All in-
Commissioner Burton?
No, I think she's asking for.
Everybody had to say.
Commissioner Burton, that's your vote. Oh, that was no, that
Oh,
was
I
the
was
clerk.
confused. Commissioner Burton had something to say.
That was the clerk.
Yes, aye.
Aye. Have a yay.
Sure.
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner DeVito?
Aye.
Mayor Myers?
Aye. So tabled. Okay. So at this point in time, I'm going to close our CRA if we have no other CRA business. And we can, it's 7:45, if we want to take our recess a little early, if everyone is okay with that. I'm going to, I would say probably about 7-8 minutes. So everybody come back. Thank you all. Commissioner
tell us.
Do you want, yeah.
Wow.
You missed out.
There's none left?
Oh, it's right there.
There it is.
Oh.
Well, maybe. She has to do what's left.
Would be Rudy at the commission.
Okay, this meeting is back in session. Pam has had a request for the commission. Pam, do you want to, before we go forward? We have, is Mr. Morris?
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Morris is, has been in the audience and he has, several, small children that he needs to get home to. And he has asked if the commission would be, acceptable to go ahead and hear his case.
Well, there's nobody who has an item coming ahead of him minds.
So the one ahead of him would be the, Crescent City Fish Camp. And I don't know, I think that might be, yes. So we might could get through that pretty quick, since this is the second reading.
Yeah,
So we can go ahead and do that, and we'll work on doing it very quickly, and then if we can, when we get to our business items, we can move Pam up, okay? So, with that,
Yes.
so we're gonna open up a public
Public
hearing,
hearing.
yes?
This is gonna be for our second and final reading for ordinance 2025-7. If Mark Brett, Rebecca can come speak to that, thank you.
We're gonna have Mr. Holmes is going to read it for us.
Okay. Ordinance 2025-07, an ordinance of the city of Crescent City, Florida, adopting a small-scale comprehensive plan amendment in accordance with section 163-3187 Florida statutes, amending the future land use map designation for a property totaling approximately 15 plus or minus acres located at 100 Grove Avenue, Crescent City, Florida, providing for a change in the future land use map designation from commercial and medium-density residential to entirely commercial, providing for implementing administrative action, repealing all conflicting ordinances, providing for severability, providing for non-codification, and providing for an effective date.
Okay. Commissioners on, any motion?
I move that we approve ordinance 2020, or 2025-07, on its second and final reading.
I'll second
Okay, we have a proper motion and a second. Do you want to speak to it?
This is for a planned development for an RV park fish camp with 2 commercial out parcels along US 17 that will maintain their general commercial uses for future development. And 31% of the site is to maintain its natural preservation state.
Okay.
Okay.
Commissioners, do you have any questions?
This is on second and final reading, correct?
Yes, correct. Second nominating. Okay, if there's none, I'm gonna go ahead at this time and I'm gonna open it up for public comment. Do we have any public comment? If you do, please come forward, state your name and your address if you will. Okay, seeing no one come forward, I'm gonna close public comment. We have no further discussion. Madam, yes, Commissioner Padilla.
I just want to restate my concerns that I have about the impact on the adjacent residential area, the intensity of the use, and I don't know, the lack of attention to detail and making sure that it dovetails with the residential neighborhood. I just don't think we did that adequately.
Okay. Would you like to speak to that? You're welcome to.
Oh, I'm here to answer any questions. If you have any questions, Councilwoman.
Do we have any?
Didn't we do that together?
Yes.
The last meeting?
We did.
Okay.
Okay. So with that, Madam Clerk, if you do a roll call.
Commissioner Burton,
Aye.
Commissioner Moore,
Aye.
Commissioner Lori,
Aye.
Commissioner DeVito,
Nay.
Mayor Myers.
Aye. Okay. So approved and adopted on the second reading. Now we're going to go to our second and final reading of ordinance 2025-08. Mr. Mullins?
2025-08, an ordinance of the city of Crescent City, Florida, rezoning approximately 15 plus or minus acres located at 100 Grove Avenue, Crescent City, Florida, from multifamily residential, MR1, and general commercial, C1, to planned unit development, PUD, providing for findings of consistency, providing for amendment to the official zoning map, providing for conflicts, providing for severability, providing for non-codification, and providing for an effective date.
I'll entertain a motion.
I move that we approve ordinance 2025-08.
I'll second.
Okay. We have any discussion?
Okay, there are additional documents that were provided. Was this 2025-07 or, right, but I'm saying, was there anything in here? This 2025-08 also in here?
I can clarify, the two staff reports were beside your agenda packets. You had seen those before, they were just updated with information from the last meeting, the motion. And then
From the last one?
the last meeting,
Okay, what kind of information? So
that
there,
it passed 4-1 in the last meeting on July 10th. That was
Okay.
added to the staff reports.
And
And
then
then,
same staff report that we had at the
Yes.
last meeting, just with the vote came from the first reading, correct?
yes, and with some edits to the rezoning ordinance that's in your agenda packet, we removed the word unit. So it's just plan development to match the current terms in the layout code. And then you also have an updated future land use amendment that was with the staff reports that has it.
okay, so there were no changes other than, I guess, just technical language to the ordinance.
Yes, they were updated based on the conversation we had at the last meeting.
But they were technical changes, not substantive changes?
Correct.
Okay.
And the rezoning ordinance references the development agreement, that was one of the other changes.
I'm sorry, the
The
reason,
rezoning ordinance, was updated to mention the development agreement.
did we vote on
But it hasn't come to us yet. Correct?
That's the next item
That's
is the rezoning. So that ordinance was updated from the last meeting to reference the development agreement, which you reviewed also at the last meeting. We just needed to specifically reference it in the ordinance. And then we changed planned unit development to just planned development.
Which is something that
Okay.
I requested.
Yes.
Because, the city manager mentioned to me that some change in the ordinance addressed a concern that I raised at the last meeting. And I believe that that was a concern I raised, that the ordinance did not reference the development agreement. So it does that now.
Yes.
Okay, well, that is a good thing. But did we vote on that?
That was my next question. Do we need to vote on the development agreement separate, or is?
It is part of the rezoning ordinance.
That's just.
Just to be absolutely clear, the title of the ordinance is unchanged.
Right.
There is a change in the body of the ordinance that specifically references development agreement. That was the development agreement that was presented last time. And that was a specific concern that Commissioner Vito mentioned at the last meeting.
Right, and I guess what I'm saying is, was that included in the motion, or do you consider that a technical change that we can vote on at
I
second
would
reading?
consider that a technical change. The purpose of, we're rezoning to plan development. We want to make sure that the ordinance references the plan development agreement.
Yes, so thank you very much for that.
The development agreement has not changed.
Okay, there you go.
Do you have any other questions?
No, that clarified it, thank you.
When are they hoping, to have this completed? What's the time frame?
At the end of this meeting.
I mean,
If you wanna, actually, you've been sitting in the audience all day, come forward.
very good. I was gonna.
I wasn't sure if you guys wanted me to come up.
Absolutely. You've been sitting there the whole time, I had to, let me see, what can I ask? Go ahead.
Okay, so I believe they plan to do it as soon as possible, as soon as they get all of the permits from the water management district and you guys as well.
total construction time should be between 4 to 6 months,
Okay.
approximately, of course, depending on the
Once
land.
they get everything in place, okay. Okay. You have-
And there's a 30-day waiting period right after the small scale comprehensive plan.
Yeah,
And it would take effect, so.
so he's talking about the physical construction, right? So after this, the comp plan amendment has to become effective. They'll have to go through a site plan approval process, which actually they've already started. So we're attempting to overlap these things. So your development review committee right now is reviewing their site plan submittal. We'll be generating comments. This ultimately would go to the planning and zoning commission for approval. They will then have to go through a building permitting process. So, once that's completed and they have the outside agency permits, St. John's Water Management District, then you'll see the 4 to 6 month period. So
we still have a ways to go.
yes.
Obtaining the permits can be very, I have no idea how long it's gonna take to obtain the permits, but we will be trying as quickly as possible.
Along those lines, could I get some clarification from Mr. Collette about this permitting process and yada, 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 all that's involved? Okay, so, I noticed, I think in the development agreement number 9 says environmental considerations, which is great. It says development of the property shall comply with land development codes, tree preservation requirements. Developers shall comply with all rules, statutes, and regulations pertaining to protected wildlife species. Back to the tree preservation requirements, the last time we approved a planned unit development for an RV park, there was no, prior to site review or any permission, there was tree clearing. It's my understanding that a lot that requires a site plan should not be cleared until the site plan is approved. Would that be?
That would be my understanding as well.
Okay. I just wanted to bring that out because it's happened the opposite way around before.
It's a new project.
Understood, and what that developer did was illegal, that was an authorized by anybody.
Right, so it should be authorized first and then the work gets done.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Did you have something you need to
There are
add?
particular clearing permits that you have to obtain before doing that, or you move into the illegal actions, and which would result in certain fines and such.
Right, well, then, just, sometimes people don't do that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so with that, if we have no further comments, I'm gonna open it up for public comment. Do we have any public comment on this?
This is for the RV?
No, not for that one, for this one down here, the fish camp, that, yes, awesome. Okay. So do you have any comment? Anybody have any comments? If not, I'm gonna close public comment. And Madam Clerk, if you do a roll call for us, please.
Commissioner DeVito,
Aye.
Commissioner Lori,
Aye.
Commissioner Moore,
Aye.
Commissioner Burton,
Aye.
Mayor Myers.
Aye. Okay, so approved on the second reading and adopted. Okay, thank you. Thank you all very much.
Appreciate it.
And Mark, we're not over the meeting, I finished it, you can say too. Somebody wants to leave you, I don't understand.
Hey, I know, they just get out. Okay, with this, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna close our public hearing and we're gonna open up our business items. And we've had a request, if we can, take our code enforcement, first. So if the commission is all in agreement with that, Pam, if you would please come forward. And I think you wanna take Mr. Morris out of,
You're his now, and then I'll do you later?
okay.
Okay, that's fine.
And they're all in agreement with that
Do
too,
you want to
is
see
that,
the
okay.
PowerPoint? Yes.
So we're dealing with 205 North Main Street,
Okay.
Here's your reading, so.
I'm not sure.
Computer.
Is this thing?
Hit a key and see if it lights back up. I'll push the power button, it should come out.
Getting technology.
266. Or no. Taking it back in, yeah, it should. It's right there.
We have a little sidebar here, and so I know we're not supposed to, but I started it with complimenting the banana pudding that Commissioner Moore made. And Commissioner Burton with her, butterscotch specialty.
We'll call them Burton Bites.
Burton bites, that's what, yeah, Burton bites.
Burton bites. Well, we might ask the downtown partnership if they have room on the morning, sales table, right?
Yeah.
There's always Saturday.
Could happen, yeah, could happen.
They're very multi-talented.
You could donate, and they can make
Me,
some
I
money.
can grocery shop,
I don't know if she's okay. Should have to make something next meeting.
just don't ask me to make it.
Okay.
Good evening.
Good evening, ma'am.
I'm Angela Taylor, Code Enforcement Officer. Are you ready, I guess?
Yes.
This case is on the agenda tonight for lien reduction, 205 North Main Street, Crescent City. The violation was Chapter 10, Section 10-20, duty to the property owners to keep lots clean. It's a copy of code. This is, first hearing was January 24th, 2023, went to the special magistrate on July 29th, 2025. Administrative cost is $226.01. So 876 days of non-compliance. Pictures of the property taken February 17th, 2023. And August 9th, 2024. I'll just scroll through these pictures if that's all right. Pictures taken 7/21/2025 of the property is in compliance. This violation is just for the vegetation and the trash that was there.
Can you be clear, that building that's next door is not on the property? This is a
The
piece of property?
structure, yes, it's on the property,
Okay.
yes. And there's a current building permit for that to be restored. And that's not the issue on this case, it's just the vegetation.
Okay, I just want clarification on that.
Yes, Commissioner DeVito.
I have a question about, I looked at Mr. Morris's, fine reduction request and the criteria for it. He seems to say he was not aware that his property was, not in compliance, that he said he wasn't aware the tall grass was the reason for the fine. I don't understand, did he not get a letter?
He did, the vegetation in the back was very high, it was like sawgrass.
Right.
And he didn't think that that was included in the violation. And I spoke to him in my office and explained that to him, and he immediately had it mowed down, cut it down, removed all the trash that was in the leaves.
Okay.
Upon clarification.
Right.
Upon clarification.
Yes.
Okay, well, because it was out of compliance for quite a few days, and frankly, I drive by there all the time. To me, I never noticed any trash or any overgrown vegetation, because what I noticed is what we brought to your attention quite a few years ago, which is the building that is without walls. And it was my understanding that that was done, even though there's a permit now, wasn't that done without a permit?
He had a permit and he renewed it, and it's current.
Okay.
There was a permit issued years ago that expired, and he got a new permit, and that permit is valid. I checked with the building department last week.
Okay, because I thought that originally the owner of this property was cited for doing the work on the building without a permit. That's
That's a different case altogether,
same property or different property?
same property, different violation.
So this is the overgrown foliage and the garbage.
Yes.
Okay, but I guess what I'm trying to ask is, was there ever a case on the activity without a permit?
Yes.
And was a fine paid for that?
No. No, he obtained a permit, so there was no fine on that case.
So that cleared it, but, well, it doesn't seem to make sense because the building looks in very bad condition, but he has a permit to
Yes.
do construction.
Mrs. Morris is here if you.
I know, but I'm saying, how can you renew those permits indefinitely without doing the work?
That's up to the
not what's
building
before
department.
us. I mean, you have to be careful because that's not what's before us.
Got it. Okay, all right. Thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
Pam is, with this, has Mr. Morris been the owner the entire time?
Yes.
Back to 01? He was,
Yes, 2023, yes.
okay, 2023. Okay. That's when he became the owner, or is that from when you cited on this one?
I don't know how long he's owned it.
I guess maybe if necessary, Mr. Morris could
Yeah, he
tell us
could.
that.
And this went before the special magistrate, and his recommendation was reduction of the liens of administrative costs. Is that my recollection? 22601 or something.
Anyway,
$100.
And, plus the administrative, so there it is, 26.
Okay.
The special magistrate suggested to reduce the lien to $100 and collect the administrative cost of $226.01, which would be a total of $326.01. And Mr. Morris is here if you would like to speak to him.
Okay, Mr. Morris, would you like to speak? You're welcome to speak.
No, I mean, I'm just trying to get it settled, get it done.
Okay.
Ms. Pam.
Okay.
she's-
And Mr. Morris is in agreement with this 326.01?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay, and do we have a time period in which that should be paid?
60 days?
10 days.
Well, allow yourself, yeah.
So normally, your motion, if you choose to make one, in my opinion, should be that the fine be reduced, the recommendation of the special magistrate be accepted, the fine be reduced to $100, and administrative costs of $226.01 be imposed for a total of $326.01 if paid within blank days. If not, the fine would revert back to the original fine amount.
Thank you. And that's why I'm trying to get the days that we, so
Don't we usually give 30 days?
it depends.
If it's, I mean, if it's acceptable,
Yes, if it's acceptable.
which he gave a shorter period.
So if somebody wants to, okay, look like a motion.
I move that we reduce the fine on 205 North Main Street to $100 that is recommended by the special magistrate, to include also the administrative cost of $226.01 for a total of $326.01 to be paid in 30 days.
30 days?
Yes.
You're from today's date.
And that's all, and if it's not paid, then the line, or it would revert to the original fine. Is that correct?
Yes.
I'll second
Okay, so we have a proper motion and a second. Mr. Morris, are you in agreement with this?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you very much. Do we have any other discussion, any other comments?
My only comment is that it seems like this was outstanding for quite a long time, but our code officer seems to feel that the communication took place, was sufficient. I just think it was let go a little long, but it's water under the bridge, it's in compliance, right? It's done. Okay.
Okay, so with that, Madam Clerk, I'm gonna ask you to do a roll call for us, please.
Commissioner Burton,
Aye.
Commissioner Moore,
Aye.
Commissioner Lori,
Aye.
Commissioner DeVito,
Aye.
Mayor Myers.
Aye. Okay, so approved. Thank you, Mr. Morris, for your patience, and
Thank you.
good luck with the property.
Thank you.
Wait for the other two.
We can go ahead, no,
Yes, go ahead.
no, we're gonna do all of yours right now. Oh, you're done, you're good, Mr. Morris, thank you. And you have to get home. And you know where to come to see Pam when it's time for the payment, correct?
Well,
Okay. It did get,
Yeah.
I thought it was me.
I'm no longer sure. I was.
Oh, yeah, me here.
I'm still cold.
If I get too normal, then it's too hot on me. Okay. This case, excuse me, it's on the agenda tonight for lien reduction. It's 708 Road Avenue, Crescent City. Violation is chapter 10, section 10-20. Duty of the property owners to maintain the lots. Copy of the code. This first hearing was on July 27th, 2021, and the property was owned by Denise Paisley heirs. Kylie Hall and Mike Robinson purchased the property last October 2024. Was 1,398 days of non-compliance at $25 a day, comes to $34,950. Administrative costs is $248.90, and the property is currently in compliance. These are two pictures that I took. One on the right was taken January 29th, 2024. One on the left was taken April 15th, 2024.
Is that the same?
Yeah.
Okay.
Was the building painted?
Yeah, was the building painted?
Yes, it's been painted.
Okay, that's faded.
They renovated it, that's it. They renovated the property. Yeah, because I'm like, there's not a carport there either. Okay.
Photo on the right was taken January 26th, 2025, but the property's in compliance. The photo on the right, I just used as a comparison. You can see it's been cleaned up and maintained and renovated. This is another picture taken January 21st, 2025. This property was sold on a tax deed sale. I notified the person that bought it that there was a code enforcement lien on the property. The city received $5,000 from the tax deeds back in 2023. He sold the property to someone else. And that person is the person that renovated the property and then sold it to Miss Hall and Michael Robinson. So they're here today. I sent them a letter notifying them that there was a lien on the property because obviously I thought that they weren't aware, which they weren't. So they brought the property in compliance. It was minor things at that point. There were 2 tree logs that were on the property. They removed those and brought the property in compliance. So they're here today asking you to reduce the lien. And the special magistrate I don't know what happened to the
You
special.
said accepted 5,000 RA received plus the 248.90 in administrative
Right,
costs.
the special magistrate recommended that just to collect the 2,400.
200.
248.
Yes, thank you.
248.90.
It's
Walk out pretty quick, so, whoa.
$248.90 since the city has already collected $5,000 for this property.
Okay, and then this would give them clear title, correct? On this property.
Yes. And they are here if you have questions for them.
Mayor, I have a question for our code officer.
Sure.
So the $5,000 in tax deed sale proceeds, was that for the outstanding lien or was that for back taxes?
That was for the lien,
That was for the code.
yes. It didn't satisfy the lien and the property was not in compliance at that time.
Pardon?
The
But,
property was not in compliance at that time. When the city received the $5,000, the property was not in compliance.
right, but were we also owed funds for unpaid taxes?
No, that goes to the county,
That all goes to the county?
yes. This is, when they sell a tax deed, they sell it for whatever people bid for it on it. And once the taxes are paid, then the lien holders can claim the excess that's left over.
Okay, so that was our code lien.
Yes.
Okay. Right.
Dawn,
Ma'am.
you good? You look,
I'm good.
okay.
No, she explained it.
Okay.
Then, so this is not an owner occupied property?
Excuse me?
This is not an owner occupied property?
Yes, it is.
It is?
This all lives there.
Okay. All right. Are we ready for?
I'm ready for a motion, I'll entertain a motion.
Okay, I move on that on case number 20-129 CEP, that we accept the code enforcement special magistrate recommendation that the fine be released and collect the administrative cost of $248.90, to hopefully be paid within 30 days.
I'll second that.
And if not,
Well, still $248.90.
No.
Oh, it's the whole thing.
Probably.
Okay, sorry, I would like to amend my motion, and I guess say that if the administrative cost is not paid within the 30 days, that the original fine, code lien be reinstated.
Commissioner Burton.
I will second that.
Okay, so we have a proper motion and a second. Mr. Robinson and Ms. Hall, is that acceptable to you? Would you like to speak? You're welcome to come forward, please.
I would just ask that it be noted that a lien release be filed into the county records once the fine is paid.
I take care of that.
Yeah. But that's why I said you would have clear title.
Yes,
You would have
yes.
clear
Well,
title.
we can't guarantee he's gonna have clear title.
Oh,
Arlene,
you're right, you're right.
he must not have done a title search. He would have found Arlene when he bought the property after the tax.
That was a title company screw up, but it is better off to pay $250 and just end it today versus having to deal with title insurance folks.
No doubt about
it. So that's why we're just here. Yeah.
Makes sense to me.
Okay.
We do appreciate the bringing the property up
And
to
thank you.
compliance, and it looks much improved. So,
Yes, that's right.
and that's really the goal, is to make the city look better, not to punish people, so.
May I say something?
Yeah.
Once the $248.90 is paid, I will release the lien, and I take it to the court, and I'll mail you a copy.
Excellent.
Okay.
Do we have any other discussion? If none, Madam Clerk, could you do a roll call for us, please?
Commissioner DeVito?
Aye.
Commissioner Lori?
Aye.
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Burton?
Aye.
Mayor Myers?
Aye. Okay, so approved. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Pam, while you are here, and I know this is not on there, but we have a house right over here. And I know it did go before the magistrate, and they continue to add, it's piling up over there, and every night there's more and more stuff, and they've even gone over into the neighbor's yard, it's a vacant house right now, but they've gone over into is that still before the magistrate?
You know,
So that this,
I took it to the special magistrate in May, and he, gave us a finding saying that $50 per day, starting, I don't remember the date, it was May.
September 23rd?
No.
The case was continued until September 23rd to allow the city to provide legal basis for increasing an existing fine. What does that mean?
I'll explain that. And we took the property to the special magistrate in May, got an order. I wanted to ask the special magistrate to increase the fine amount in July, and he said the Florida statutes did not allow for that. If it's in compliance and then it's repeated afterwards, then you can ask for an increased fine, but as long as the current fine is still in place and the violation still exists, you cannot increase the fine. So he wanted me to consult with legal counsel at the city. But I took a class last week before, talked by the attorney in Daytona, and he brought that up, that you cannot do that. So.
what is the daily fine on it right now? Are they, so I would assume at this point, it's got a fine on it, correct?
This isn't an agenda item, right?
No, it's not, no, we're not.
So, yeah, right, then no action can be taken unless you're gonna bring it up as an emergency item and you haven't given notice to the property owner, so all of that's a problem.
Okay. Okay, so then we won't talk about it, but thank you, Dawn, for bringing that to our attention, it's just, we've
Yeah,
got
I
it
see it
here.
on a sheet here, and that's why we don't know. I mean, it's,
Yeah.
I didn't know. if it was
He
part of
wanted
your-
me to bring it back in September, but I notified him that
Okay.
that's not right. So I am aware of the stuff that's
Okay,
going
Dawn's
on.
saying we can't talk about it.
Yeah, we
anymore.
can't talk about
Like, how about it all?
it, but I tell you, you can.
No, no, it's not, and that was mine, I brought it up, so no, I withdraw my question.
Right, and then, I mean, y'all can get clarification from our code officer separately,
Yeah.
offline, and we can move on with the agenda, right?
So, yeah, so let's go on to your third one, which is the dumpster moratorium.
I have a different PowerPoint than that.
I've never seen so many pictures of dumpsters in my life.
What is a dumpster moratorium, just?
We discussed last year.
Okay, oh, sorry, I was just gonna say, if you will listen, we will explain all that to you.
Well,
Sorry.
in the meantime,
But Commissioner Lori.
Commissioner Lori, go ahead, you can explain it to him.
Sorry. Last year, Mr. Rudd brought to our attention that we had not been enforcing our dumpster enclosure rules according to our land development code. And at the time, there was quite a few in the city that did not have dumpster enclosures. And instead of further discussing the grandfathering, then we decided to put a moratorium on any action for a year. And that year has now passed quite a while back.
And what we talked about is because, and really it's because of this cost, the cost that it was going to impose on all these business owners in doing so, because at that time, I know I went through and I counted how many came over, 22, and now you have, what, 23?
Yes, and I found another one after that.
Okay, so they just keep popping up, it's, you think you have them all, and there's another one. So we were very concerned about the cost and what that was gonna do to business owners, because it had not been being enforced.
Right, no, apparently never has, and another business owner came to the meeting.
Yes.
And spoke about that, and some of us looked up the cost, it's pricey. So, no,
You know, most of the pictures that I saw, which are many, 23, I guess, the dumpsters actually look pretty good. I mean, the worst dumpster that I see every time I drive here in the city is the one right behind our building back here, because it is enclosed, and when it's open, it's a mess. Okay, and I'm serious when I say that.
and it's not our mess, everybody in the community thinks that they dump in there, because you look in there in the garbage, and it's not anything that came from the city.
I'm just saying though.
There's diapers and mattresses and all kinds
That's
of
a good
stuff.
point you bring it up, when you put the enclosure there, you basically add a concealment element to it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what I was gonna say, you know, you put that up, and then, you know, after, I don't know, 6 months, like anything that's built by wood, with wood up here, in Florida, anywhere, you know, starts to sag and it looks like hell.
So how about the practicality of your collection folks having to open a door on an enclosure to get to the dumpster?
It's typical practice.
It is.
Typical practice where?
Everywhere.
Not in Black, it's not. There's not any dumpster enclosure rule in Black.
So, well, we have a rule, but as you can see, when you go through the picture, you won't see any.
So you might ask waste.
We only have one
if you haven't
enclosure in
already,
town.
because they
Okay,
gotta
so
go out
let's go
there.
ahead and Pam, you wanna address?
I was just gonna scroll through the pictures.
Okay.
I do want to add one thing, commissioners, if it is, something that's voted on by the committee or the commission, I'm pretty sure that the CRA funds in these areas could be utilized to pay for some fencing in some of the areas that are more blighted.
Well, that was the discussion last year, and Mr. Rudd has,
You do it for one, and you start doing it for all.
We have
Correct.
estimates and it was upwards of 4,000 per
Per
dumpster at least.
It should be almost $100,000. I mean, if you did every single one.
Oh,
20
I said per, I didn't say,
No, I'm
in
saying
total,
the
right.
total
I
is
said
very
per.
significant.
Right, and maybe it's something that we look at in phases,
or we would have to.
Okay.
yeah.
We have to, so Pam, please.
6 months, all you have to do.
These three are at Winn-Dixie.
There's
One on
no
the left
excuses,
is the one
it's
that's
just
trying to
money to
Correct.
fix
Family
that.
Dollar.
The one at
The
China
China
Walk,
Walk
now
is
that's the
nice.
one, that has a,
No, that's a mess. But that's closed now, isn't it?
No.
They're still selling that
yeah.
39.
that rice. That good old.
This is the same lot in the community pharmacy and doctor's office. Island Doctors. Daycare. Dollar General.
And some of those, I mean, when you look at the dumpster, the other thing, everyone, some of these dumpsters look pretty bad, but it's not the businesses, this is what Waste Pro
This is
has,
what they give them.
has provided. So we have to take that into consideration too.
Yeah, the one on that note is,
That one's back behind the government building, I think.
yeah.
Someone on the right of the shift.
I think.
That one is always a problem, and
Yes, it
they're looking to take care of doing away with it or doing something for
Because
that.
it's really not used by the building itself, it's used by,
Yeah.
it's a neighborhood.
I have a question about that one. It was, can we go back to the government? It says, okay, it says and Parker House. Did you label it that way because they share a dumpster?
No, just to identify it.
Okay, so that's the location.
The county pays for it.
Okay, so that's the county dumpster, because it's a little confusing.
Yeah.
I thought
On our
maybe,
property, the county pays for it.
okay, because I thought you were saying maybe that was jointly maintained by Parker House, but that's the government dumpster.
Right.
For sure.
I just did that for geographic, so you.
Okay, that's geography, not ownership.
So
Okay.
before us is you're bringing to us that the year has passed and now we have a moratorium.
Correct.
And so we need to determine whether or not we want to extend our moratorium.
Correct.
Or we get rid of it. What we gotta do to get rid of that whole thing. I mean,
Yeah, so-
you know, just kick it can down the road, or
Another
get
thing,
real here, or what?
another thing for you all to consider is possibly for new construction, requiring them through our code to have proper enclosures, whether they're built out of block, wood fence or otherwise chain link fence with slats, privacy slats.
Chain link fence is not allowed under our code.
Okay,
It says that it has to be block or wood.
block of wood, okay.
Decorative precast concrete walls or a solid durable fencing material with opaque gates capable of being securely latched. Chain link fence material with slats is prohibited.
And I believe all of our new construction, AutoZone, O'Reilly's, McDonald's, they all have enclosures, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
There are a few, the Green Dragon has an enclosure.
But I think sometimes not anybody can just get around those very easy and toss things in there and, you know, they can't just open the thing and, but anyway, I don't know.
Okay, so, yes.
Sure.
Okay, so if, I think what we should do is extend our moratorium and work on amending our ordinance to, if it's allowed, to grandfather in those existing dumpsters. The only thing I would like to keep is that, and it might be a separate section of the code, is that the dumpster area be kept clean of debris around the dumpster, because I think that's important and reasonable.
Okay, do you wanna make a motion?
Sure, and well, just the sense of the commission and staff, how long do you think we should reasonably allow ourselves to come up with a new ordinance? Would you say 6 months?
I was gonna say it's probably 6 months.
Does 6 months sound good? Okay.
Commissioners, are you in agreement, 6 months? Okay.
May I add something?
Yes.
I think it's also, important for us to realize that, I mean, and you spoke to this, some of the dumpsters look okay, they look sort of new, and some of them are in really bad shape. I know that the business owners pay for that service, but maybe we work with them to get ways to replace those with better, newer, materials.
Okay. And that's something I think as we go forward with this, we could, probably gonna have to do like a short workshop on this.
Yes.
To discuss, yes.
I think it's a valid point to just add to the conversation that, when Pam cited the China lockers for their dumpster, they, called out other restaurants, so.
Including Food Anna's, which is
Well,
the business owner that we have here. And Patrick, the general manager, cleans their dumpster every day or every week.
Yeah,
And
they
it
keep
is-
it washed out.
And I never noticed any smells from it or anything like that, but there are some that are very poor shape. And I mean, we have Grove Fish Camp, or, where's Grove, what has Grove, Crescent Fish Camp, which obviously is a new building, or a new business, not new construction, but as they expand with this expansion, we need to decide are we going to make them put an enclosure around it, which, as our code reads now, would be required, if they get a new building permit, correct?
So,
I'm just gonna add, I'm gonna say it one more time and I won't say it again. You can travel with Waste Pro for your collection.
Mhm.
I'm gonna suggest again that as part of your workshop, you talk to Waste Pro, because Waste Pro is running with as few personnel on their trucks as they can run
Right.
because of cost.
Right.
And, if they have to have somebody get out of that truck, you may think this sounds funny, but having dealt with the, collection folks at the city, I will tell you that if they have to have a guy on a front loader get out of his truck to open a gate, to access a dumpster, and then deal with the issues, the additional issues of making certain that when he dumps that dumpster and puts it back in that enclosure, he gets it fully in the enclosure and doesn't knock your walls down. Waste Pro may tell you that your cost is going up. So I'm just simply suggesting that you talk to them as part of your workshop.
hence our fence back here, which
Right,
is
so the gates are.
always, the gate is always lumpy, something's happened to it, you know.
How many
So,
enclosures are there currently that we have? How many dumpsters do have enclosures in the city?
I'd say a dozen, probably,
Okay, and they're fully enclosed with gates?
yes.
I think as we workshop this too, I mean, there's certain things we can do, like, you know, we can require them that they have to keep the lids on it. It has to be, you know, it has to be a lidded dumpster, that they have to keep the lids down. You know, that right there takes care of some of that, especially with the vultures, because we have issues with that with the vultures. Keeping debris cleaned up around, you know, the outside of it. So there's other things that we can do just to make sure. And like Mr. Holmes said, in working with Waste Pro to make sure that they're providing us too with a dumpster that.
And then figure out what you're gonna do for enforcement, because a code violation is not gonna do you much good. You're gonna have to go in front of a magistrate. You're gonna have to provide for a citation mechanism, which then you're gonna provide for your due process and so forth and so on. So, yeah, it all leads to something different.
So Commissioner Vito, you want to go ahead and finish your motion, please?
I do. So I move that we extend our moratorium on enforcement of the code requirement for dumpster enclosures for another 6 months from today's date to give us an opportunity to modify our ordinance or take such other action as we see fit.
Okay, do we have a second?
I'll second if we include scheduling a workshop to the motion. Is that,
Well, I mean, we can schedule, I'm assuming we're going to schedule.
I just don't, I mean, we put a year
Do
moratorium
you
on
want
it.
a second or motion, or do you want to,
I'll second that. Go ahead.
would you want to amend your Commissioner
Um,
Nato
And
to include a
yes, I would
workshop?
like to amend it that we include a workshop on a timely basis so that we can take action within the 6 months.
Okay.
I'll second that.
Okay,
Thank you.
we have a proper motion and a second. Do we have any other discussion, Commissioner Burton?
No.
Okay, we have any public comment on this? Yes, Commissioner.
I just wanted to observe, there's been quite a bit of criticism of China Walk. I think in our code officer's report, she mentions that when China Walk was cited, they went around and noted all the other people without an enclosure, but I mean, that's pretty normal when someone is cited for something that others are not cited for.
That's true.
That's usually what people do. They want to know, why are they being singled out? And that was the question. I don't think that's really a fair criticism to make, saying that the person who was cited brought to our attention that we weren't enforcing the code anyway. I mean.
But they did.
No.
I mean, so I think regardless of who it was, that it was brought to our attention by a violator.
Exactly.
As well, you have to say it doesn't have to be specific to China Walk.
Right, but
It was brought to our attention by a violator.
right, but that's kind of on us. That was our fault.
I did that for history, in case, we have new commissioner, new city manager. I wanted
But to let us know how it came about.
Yeah, correct.
Okay, because it sounded a bit like a criticism, but that is how it came about. And the other thing is that I would say, I said before that I think we should pay attention to cleanliness, and I thought the mayor had a lot of good suggestions, and hopefully we'll bring those all up in the
We'll have a
workshop.
workshop.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely will. Okay, do we have any public comment on this? Anybody want to speak to it? Okay, seeing nobody come forward. Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Burton?
Aye.
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Lori?
Aye.
Commissioner DeVito?
Aye.
Mayor Myers?
Aye.
Right, and may we thank our code officer for her excellent report.
Thank you.
With the pictures.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So then we're gonna go back to number one, on business items, which is a FEMA decision and approval. Mr. Martin, I'm gonna turn it over to you, please.
Thank you, Mayor. So you'll see a note on your list that's waiting on email confirmation. I did have conversations with our rep from FEMA, Tommy Edwards. She did provide that email. I gave it to you all in the supplemental handout. If you read the email, I'm not sure if you had gotten into it, it basically gives us a green light to move forward with our docks project. My biggest concern was us moving forward. I know we've had this discussion. We paid $2,000 in order to get the main dock at the Three Bananas fixed for Red, White, and Boom. And so, and I'm sorry, I referenced Three Bananas, but it's the main city dock that's, yes, Central Avenue. And so, and I apologize, the contractor actually wrote it out as that Three Bananas too, which I also gave you all his quotes to complete the work. But right now, as it stands, FEMA had did a study or review of the damage, came down, they took their own photos. As you can see on the DHS Federal Emergency Management or Emergency Agency document they provided, they give you a cost range of what it would be for the damage done to the Crescent City dock and the Fletcher Park dock. The cost that they came up to was around $18,596.30. The federal share, 75%, would be $13,947. The issue is that right now, if we were to fix the main dock and Fletcher Park dock, that cost to us would be around $31,000. That's a difference of $17,052. I was told from the FEMA representative, which also states in their email, that we basically would go after a reassessment at that time and provide them photos of the finished work and a detailed invoice from the contractor, and they would review it, and they would replace up to $75,000 cost. So there still would be a cost out of our pocket, but they would take care of a large portion of the cost. I'm asking this commission to give us permission to move funds that were not used in the Better Place Plan this year to pay for those docks and to move forward with getting those completed.
Could we not use, the carryover funds that we have, that we will be putting into the budget to use?
Well, we're gonna be bringing that up in a meeting to discuss our amended budget in September. And so we can, after that's voted on to amend the budget, we can definitely look at that. Steve, would you like to speak to that at all? I mean, we have the funds to do this in both spots, so it's up to this commission.
Right, and obviously we're getting reimbursed for a large part of this.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So you're basically looking to get about 19K, right, to do these tasks?
75% of 31,000 is what I'm looking to get back.
Well, I
Once everything's
understand
said
what
and
you're
done.
looking to get back, but, you know, you gotta put out the 19K, right? And then you'll get back 75% of that, correct?
Right now, they are saying they're gonna give us back $13,000. The entire cost for all of the work is around $31,000. Now, I also wanna be clear on this.
How do we jump from 19 to 31,000 now all of a sudden?
Well, the main dock, which consists of the 40-foot by 5 dock alongside the boat ramp and also the main pier, that work in itself is $11,000. We've already paid $2,000. It would have been $13,000 originally, and that is just on Central. The work at Fletcher Park is gonna range, and again, the contractor, when he gave us his proposal, gave us a price for a 30 by 20 platform and a 40 by 20 platform. My cost includes the 40 by 20 platform because it's the higher. His cost will range between 15 and 20,000. He didn't actually go out and measure because there was damage and he couldn't go out there. So he took historical information on
Does he have a boat?
He does have a boat. He has yes, ma'am.
I just thought I'd ask. But I'm just trying to figure out, you know, what are you asking for exactly?
I'm asking to move forward with either Better Place funds or carryover, but I need permission with you all knowing that we will be reimbursed from FEMA up to 75% of the cost.
And you're saying the cost right now is about 30K?
About 30K, yes, ma'am. And so the differential is about $17,000 for what
So you're
they're,
looking for us to say, okay, to 30K?
yes, ma'am.
And we're gonna take that, that's what we're taking out of Better Place Plan or, okay, all right.
Or
So that's what
carryover.
we're trying to do.
Mayor, can I ask her a question? Ms. Davis, let me make sure she's done. Are you done?
I am done.
Okay, Commissioner DeVito.
Okay, so when you're saying, either out of carryover funds or replacement funds, when would this work start and when would we actually be called upon to pay for it? Do we make a deposit with the contractor or anything like that?
This contractor wants a 50% deposit up front, and then the remainder at the finalization of this project, and once we, of course, inspect it. I will tell you, I spoke with him today just to get some clarity on his contract, and he did say he is about 30 to 60 days out from being able to start the work.
Okay, so if we make a motion to approve this in the alternative, we will be meeting and, we will be meeting on the budget before he actually starts work. Would that not be about right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so that's my suggestion, is that we designate one or the other of those funds. But, and then we do have the realization, FEMA has they tentatively approved 13,947.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and so we pretty much can count on that we can't necessarily count on the other, $14,000, that would be about, I don't know, how much more would we need to bring it up to the 75% of 30,000?
Well, the total cost,
Right.
the total cost, because again, the 75% is only based on their, share of cost on their
Right, so I'm
original.
saying, they said they would pay, for sure, they would approve 13,900.
Correct.
And if we say, go ahead with the work, you said you can request a reassessment, we could get it, or maybe we won't.
We have a $17,052 difference, is that correct?
That is correct.
That right
And-
now could be in jeopardy that we would have to pick up and there might not be a reimbursement. We're hoping that there would be. We do know the 13,000, is that correct?
That is correct, and I will say, I go back to Tanya's email. Tanya is, our associate at FEMA. The email says that the FEMA and state are reimbursable projects, and you can start work and receive reimbursement if you stay within the mutual decided scope of work. If it goes over, there is a mechanism to report to them, and they will reimburse higher than what they
As long as
stated.
we stay within the
As long-
scope of the scope of work.
Correct,
Okay.
correct.
Now, the other question it seems to me that you're asking us is, do we want to go with the 40 by 5? No, I'm sorry, if we want to go with the 40 by 20 or the 30 by 20 with a $5,000 difference in price.
Before we do that, the price that I put in here that I'm telling you all is the higher of the two. I can tell you it's gonna fall in between both of those. I will get a firm finalized quote before we move forward.
Well,
And
if
it's
we
gonna be
approve it
below.
tonight, if we approve it tonight, we need to say up to.
Up to $31,000 total.
Okay, yes, Mayor, I have a question. So the higher amount, is that within the FEMA approved scope of work?
The higher amount, as far as the deck work.
Right.
The higher amount is only the platform. He couldn't physically measure it. So he gave us a worst case scenario and a best case scenario. The
What-
30 by 20 is the best case
What
scenario.
is the
That's what-
platform that FEMA is acknowledging?
They're either one. They're acknowledging the work that needs to be replaced. If you go back to their quote, they show where the damage was done to Fletcher Park. They talk about the deck boards and linear feet. They give all of that. They even give middle boards, the range there, and then they talk about the washout, which was a different item under what we decided not to do for.
So
the
did they
legal.
give a size? Did they give a size there as far as if there's not a size?
They did not give a
Because we would
size.
have to stay within that if that's the case.
They did not give a size specific to the landing.
Okay.
And I'm thinking they didn't because they couldn't get out there as well. Right.
And also it says in here about the Fletcher Park dock restrooms, that was damage to the roof, did we already fix that?
I believe that those funds are gonna be, here at the city within a few weeks. I know that I signed some paperwork on the grants website, or FEMA's website to get those released.
Okay, so that work hasn't been done.
I would have to get with Keith on that.
I was just wondering because that was included in here.
And actually, Christina, has the bathroom, roof been repaired at Fletcher Park already?
Yes, sir.
It has, okay, so, sorry, yes, it
And
has.
it's been approved, they're gonna send us money for that.
Yes, money is on its way.
Checks in the mail.
Checks in the mail, yeah.
Checks in the mail.
FEMA. Now, it says replace wooden deck boards on the deck boards linear feet. Is that, where are they say middle boards, north side, so it's the middle boards, and then it talks about replace wooden deck boards, are they talking about the deck?
They are talking about parts of the deck.
Because that deck, it says 37.5 linear feet.
When I received this and went over it the first time with Tanya on the phone, I told her that this was a very long, deck. And that she needed to relook at the numbers. She said this was what the assessors came back with when they came out to visit. And I asked her, I said, well, our cost is coming in significantly higher than what you've assessed. And she said, as long as the work is in the envelope of replacing the actual wood in place, that they would reimburse.
Okay. I would recommend too that you look at the prior, repair that went before FEMA, that if someone was to, from a historical standpoint, to make sure that those numbers all, if they have any measurements, that they line up.
Okay,
Now, this does not include, lifting that, and we all know that initially this is gonna be lifted, so this needs to be lifted, that would be on us, and you believe that would be how much? With that,
it would be an additional around $10,000 additional cost
is there, what you said there,
on top of that, yes.
there could be grants though, that.
There is, we have talked to FDM and the state representative said that that would almost be a shoo-in for a grant to get that done. Now, I did talk to the contractor, even though let's say he replaced everything, the new pilings, he would be able to retrofit everything that he puts in, so he wouldn't have to do a double costing.
So he'd be able to lift.
That's right, he would be able to lift and utilize everything that's new again.
Okay.
Mayor, I would like to make a motion, the technical motion.
Yeah.
Okay. So I move that we authorize our city manager to move forward with dock repairs to the main city dock at the base of Central Avenue on Lake Crescent and the Fletcher Park dock, and to expend an amount up to, is it 30 or 31?
$31,000.
Up to $31,000, provided that the contract specify that the work has to be done only within the scope approved by FEMA. And that we take the funds either from carryover or better place plan to be determined when we finalize our budget.
Okay, do we have a second?
My only concern is that we need to decide on that source of funds now and not leave it to wait.
Well, I think, I think if that's the case and this motion's gonna die for lack of a second, then we need to bring Steve up here, and Steve needs to recommend to us as our finance director and our city manager, where is it better to take this out of, given where we are currently? Is it better to take it out of Better Place, or is it better to take it out of general fund?
I would feel more comfortable taking it out of Better Place. That's what it's for.
And Steve,
I agree with that.
so,
Okay, but on top of that, you also want to spend an extra 10K to lift it up, correct? And that's on us. I mean, we don't get any money back for that.
Right, and not at this time, and it would be on us, but we would also work with FDM to get reimbursed for that work as well.
So what you're saying is they're gonna go through and they're gonna fix everything,
Mhm.
and then we're gonna come back, what? I don't know, man, and lift it?
Yes, so we were in a meeting with FDM and FEMA at the same time. And so the questions were brought up, how the work would take place and how it would be phased and when we could get funds. FDM did say that we would have to replace it first, get the funds reimbursed from FEMA, and then we could lift and go after a grant with them separate, but the work had to be completed.
if we go outside the scope currently, then that could jeopadize the money.
If we did it right now, yes, it would jeopardize getting money back from FEMA.
Now, but isn't it gonna cost you when you say 10K? Okay, now you're gonna lift the deck. Okay, what do you just 10K for the poles? Is that it?
It's
I mean, you got a whole lot of work to do to lift that deck.
Yes, and he actually has it, and if you go to his costing, and he talks about it in job 2 and 3, replacing all the old pilings with longer piles, 2.5 inch, or 2.5 treated 8-inch butts, approximately 240 hours, that's at $9,900. That is for lifting it.
I don't see where that is, I'm sorry.
It's right in the middle, it says job number 2, replace old pilings with new longer pilings.
The quote from all four
Price at
documents.
$9,900, it's this last page, Commissioner Burton. Keep going, last page,
Okay.
all Florida dock builders.
And so I asked him, the next one is lift dock 1 foot to 1.5 feet. You can see the 8750. I had asked him for clarity between the two line items, and he said that was a breakout that Keith had asked for, but if we were to lift the dock, it would be around $10,000, and he'll give us a different quote for that.
Okay, so Mayor, could, as I understand it, we have to, if we're going to do the Fletcher Park dock, it has to be in 2 steps, right? First, the FEMA approved repair, then if we wanna lift it. So when we do the first step, we are taking a risk that a storm could come this fall and could wipe it out again before we even get it lifted. And then, so that's a risk, it could happen. And then my next question is the Florida Department of Emergency Management, FDM, I guess mitigation grant that would happen for the lifting, is that a reimbursement grant?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so it's also, okay. All right, well, I don't care, and
Do you want to, so your first motion failed, I did say,
Okay.
state that it failed for
I don't
last.
know, if somebody else make
So
another
if
motion.
somebody wants to make another motion.
I move that we authorize the city manager to go forward with the repairs to the Central Avenue dock and Fletcher Park dock at a cost not to exceed $31,000 and to use better place grant funds as the source of the.
I'll second that.
Okay, and what about the scope of work being limited to
I
like?
think he understands that. I don't think it needs to be included in the motion.
Okay.
And when FEMA tells me that, and they send an email, that basically just means you can't create a cabana over top of the existing dock. It has to be what was there before. And
That's why I said also, please look back on history.
yes,
Historic.
yes, ma'am.
History as far as when we have had other repairs.
Yeah.
Okay, we have a proper motion and a second. Do we have any further discussion? Okay.
I just think we need to get this done.
Well,
People have been complaining for quite a while.
we do, but we also have a fiduciary responsibility, and that's what we've been saying all along. We want to repair it, but it's taxpayers' money, and if we have the ability to get it reimbursed, we needed to wait on FEMA. Madam Clerk, if you would please do a roll call.
Do we have public comment, Mayor?
Huh?
Public comment?
Do we have any public comment?
Yes,
Okay, please come forward.
yes, we do.
Diane Sykes, Crescent City. And since we rebranded ourselves as Life Between the Lakes, it would be a real shame that we didn't have a dock to go on.
Great. That's why we're gonna fix them.
Okay, madam, is there any other comments that anyone would like to make at this time? If not, I'm gonna close public comment. Madam Clerk, please do the roll call.
Commissioner Burton?
Aye.
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Lori?
Aye.
Commissioner DeVito?
Aye.
Mayor Myers?
Aye. Okay, so approved. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Next line of business is the sheriff's office. We've already discussed that, so we're gonna take that and remove that. Number 3 is move budget meeting from September 11th, 2025 to September 10th, 2025. I'm asking for permission for that, due in lieu of a September 11th, having a conflict as the county appraiser brought this to staff's attention.
Okay, that is our actual commission meeting.
And it's our
So
actual-
we need to be
yes.
more, yes, we need to make that clear, is that that's actual, our monthly commission meeting will be
Agenda
moved.
commission meeting.
I have one question.
Yes.
Why are we asking the county appraiser to come back to this meeting?
We're not asking the county appraiser. What the county appraiser is telling us is that we have 2 other taxing authorities that have a conflict, and we can't
We
all
can't.
approve it on the same day because you have to allow, it's a public hearing, and we have to allow the public
Okay, that
who
was
might
very
want to
clear.
go to the county, I know, who might want to go to the county, or they might want to go to the school district. So the 3 of us have to coordinate those dates so that we're not heard on the same day. Unfortunately, they got their dates before we got our dates.
And I don't understand how that happens. I looked up the trim notices for last year, which I did not realize that would have answered all our questions about the rollback rate. I looked last year, I brought a copy of it, they're asking us to change our regular meeting day.
Yes.
That's not the county's regular meeting day. They obviously just chose to
The
meet.
county is not meeting
It's
on
not
September 11th. The school district is meeting on September 11th.
Is that their regular meeting date in the evening? I guess I don't know why they chose it and why ours does not have
Well, we have an option.
precedence.
We have an option.
Because they wanted to mess with us.
We can have our regularly scheduled meeting on the 11th, and then we can also meet on the 10th to go over our budget, or we can move everything to the 10th.
Right, I guess, what really bothers me about this, first of all, it's not budget amendment, it's our budget ordinance.
We already,
Okay.
we already
So you
stated
said
that.
it's the regular meeting, but the issue is the budget ordinance. I feel very uncomfortable that people are being called to come to our hearing on the budget ordinance on a Wednesday. When the regular meeting, they're used to hearing it at the regular meeting, so, I guess, to me, I would prefer to see us keep our regular meeting date and hear the budget hearing on Wednesday unless people think that's just too inconvenient.
We already just said you would hate for people to come out on
I
a
know.
Wednesday to hear
I
the
do.
budget.
Right.
And so we have no other, I mean, that's our option, so if you're gonna do that, you're not accomplishing what you just said you wanted to accomplish.
So, I am afraid that we can't play chicken with the date, that we're out of time, because I think the trim notices are going out very shortly. So I don't know why, I don't know why it happened this way, I don't wanna see it happen this way again. That it's our regular meeting date and other people choose that for their budget hearing.
But they do, of course.
Okay, so I wanna make a motion to go ahead and move the commission meeting from, September 11th to September 10th. Okay,
At the,
Second.
at the regular scheduled.
yes, at the regular scheduled time of 6 P.M.
Second.
We have a proper motion and a second. Do we have any other discussion? Do we have any public comment on this? Okay, seeing no one come forward, all in favor? I'm gonna have, Madam Clerk, if you would please do a roll call just because this involves our budget.
Yes, ma'am. Commissioner DeVito,
Aye.
Commissioner Lori,
Aye.
Commissioner Moore,
Aye.
Commissioner Burton,
Aye.
Mayor Myers.
Aye. Okay, so approved,
Right, and
and the meeting's been moved.
I do think there should be an understanding among staff that the meeting dates are set in our charter and that the commission is the one who has to approve them.
Our meeting date is not set in our charter, that we have to meet,
Our
is set in
regular-
the chart, is set in our
Right,
chart.
our regular meeting schedule.
Just like today, we're meeting on a
Yes.
Thursday, we're meeting on a Tuesday.
I understand
Okay,
that, and the commission changed it,
Yes.
right, so,
Well, that has to do with staff, though.
pardon?
How much general has to do with staff?
Because we received a notice that our meeting had been changed.
Okay.
No, we received a notice. Mr. Martin, didn't we receive a notice that our meeting that was in conflict?
Yes, we did.
received a phone call.
Yeah, we received a phone call that our meeting was in conflict.
Well, I got an email from staff that said our meeting date is hereby changed. It didn't say we're gonna vote on it, it said it's been changed. That's what that's what.
And I thought
We
that
all
it
said.
was, that you just made notice to everybody that it was,
That we were changing it.
that we knew we had to vote on it.
Right.
It said.
I think
it
Okay,
is-
so that was done incorrectly. So
Yes,
in
it's
the, in the
done.
future, we'll all remember that we have to vote on any date changes. Okay?
Yes.
So, let's go to number 4, budget amendment.
So this is our schedule, if there's any changes, but I wanted to let you all know the first reading will occur September 10th. This is for the public, 2025, that's our regular monthly commission meeting. And second reading shall occur on September 25th, 2025, at a special meeting.
Are there any times that are a little different for this, or?
It's our regularly scheduled 6.
6 o'clock.
Yeah,
Okay,
6
so
o'clock on
6
both
o'clock
days.
here on both
Yep.
days, okay.
Right,
Both
and
days.
I'll make a motion to go ahead and, do this. I so move.
I thought we said, what Commissioner
Let's just do
DeVito?
it.
I don't know, I thought we set these dates already.
I don't think we did.
Yeah, this was more for information for the public.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is just for the, he's making note that will also be on the 10th
Type a notice.
and 25. And so there will be a notice out.
Correct.
And again, for the second reading prior to adoption, it's in our charter and it's in the statute, you have to have those 10 days between the first and the second reading.
Exactly.
So,
Okay, I like that.
Perfect.
so let's move on to number 6. We've already done code enforcement.
So as you all know, over the weekend, I got a phone call from the fire chief that the compressor went out. The air compressor is a vital piece of equipment that's utilized to pressurize the fire apparatus. Without it, the time increases for response from 30 seconds to a minute. And you all know that in a major event such as a heart attack or stroke, 30 seconds or a minute is a life. I went ahead and tasked Public Works, working with local business in Napa who had a deal. You all know we're going through budget season. Original prices that we were looking at was around $7,500 for an air compressor that was quoted from our fire chief. We ended up being able to get the same specification air compressor that would work for $1,600, and it was an emergency purchase, I would say. We haven't actually purchased it yet. But we have obtained the equipment. We have not paid for it yet. And it's installed and working as of Sunday. We had it 12 hours was what we were down.
Okay, so, I would like to move that we, approve the purchase of the fire department air compressor. It was from Napa Auto Parts, right?
Yes, ma'am.
From Napa Auto Parts in the price of $1,600 from Better Place Plan funds. Did I get it?
I'll second. So we have, what's the matter, Dawn?
Is this the compressor they use to refill their air packs?
The SBA's, I believe that, but it's mainly for the equipment. It's for the brakes, the air compressed brakes and the fire apparatuses. But it is for their SPCA's, for that as well.
So those compressors require they're specialized compressors, if they're the air pack compressors, like a scuba tank compressor. You can't just use any compressor. So all I was making sure of is that whatever specs you got are suitable for the use that we're talking about.
The fire chief has reviewed it and it is
Cool.
good, yes.
And that thing has been making a lot of noise for a while. Every time I would go by, it's like.
It's been on its last leg.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So now,
and I will have to say this, that our public works director was a huge part in this, getting this done. He actually went over, I believe, with Jason, and they got it hooked up. They didn't only just pick it up, but they got it hooked up in a matter of hours.
Sunday morning.
Yeah, Sunday
It's
morning.
early Sunday.
And I think we should also thank Mr. Pickens.
Big thanks to Mr. Pickens, yes.
Right, so wait, Jason, who's our fire chief now?
Sharon Razor.
Now that Jason is Public Works, or,
Oh,
yeah,
different Jason?
yes.
Okay, Public Works Jason.
Public Works
Got it,
Jason.
got it. Well, that was,
Joe Lacy.
Yeah.
Your
chief,
Joe.
chief.
okay, I just wanted
I
to
knew
make
his last
sure.
name.
I thought maybe Chief Heifel was volunteering or something.
Okay, do we have a motion? We have a motion, do we have a second? Do we have a second?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a proper motion and a second. Do we have any further discussion? If none,
Commissioner Burton? Aye. Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Lori?
Aye.
Commissioner DeVito?
Aye.
Mayor Myers?
aye, so approved.
Thank you.
Kudos to the staff for doing.
Thank you. Next item's number 7. I would like if Christina Marie could talk to this. We have painting on the buildings. I believe she put something together for you all.
Basically, I acquired 3 quotes to have the City Hall and Annex painted. Those are in your packet. And I'd like to move forward with having that done. The stucco work was complete. Our copier was giving me some issues. I've done a few AI renderings, what some potential colors could look like to you all, just to give me an idea of what your preference is. I had copies, but again, the color isn't accurate, so that's the original copy. Or I'm open to suggestions and can maybe provide another palette for you, but those are just some potentials of what the building would look like.
In the, I don't know.
Regardless of color, I would like to get the bids approved and secure contractors so that these bids don't expire.
In the bid, it said that we were gonna paint the metal as well, is that the
Yes.
the black, part that goes all the way around?
Yes.
Yeah.
That blue's a little dark. I thought there was, I know the
Copy
copier,
and really
there was
dark.
a lighter, more of that historic blue, I think.
The historic green is better.
And I can provide those digitally as well as your color.
But the other one's really bright, so.
The green is similar, that green is almost similar to the color that we did this door and that door.
Yeah,
It's kind of that color that complemented the mural.
So I have a question, Mayor.
Yes.
Is, Richard Cooney still living in the area, the one, who did the murals?
Yeah, you want to speak to that?
yes, ma'am. Mr. Cooney has expressed a desire to revamp his murals, so after the building is painted, I would like to work with Mr. Cooney, but I would bring that before you separately.
Well, was speaking to a different issue. I would like to ask Mr. Cooney's opinion about which color he thinks would better complement the murals before we make a final decision on the color. I mean, I would like to see a little more input on color. I know what I like from the pictures, but, I don't know, do you feel that the colors are true on the printout?
I mean, pretty much, but I don't have a problem getting with Mr. Cooney and getting his opinion.
Yeah, thank you.
You know,
It's a very expensive paint job, and I know whenever we do colors, most people,
They don't like the colors we pick, not really.
Well, because all we ever pick is beige.
right, but I'm just saying, when you're making a dramatic
Never mind
change,
on that.
Right.
usually you get some input. I think Mr. Cooney would be good. Just let it sit for a little bit in case we have, I mean, usually you just take a second look before you spend thousands of dollars on a repaint job. But I think those
Well,
are
and we can also
reasonable
paint
choices.
colors on the building too, so when he comes up here, we can paint colors on the building. I mean, goodness knows, I've done that on my house, I have 20 colors.
You just, and I know,
Swatches and that's fine, but.
long ago,
I did do that.
She really did do that.
it's not funny, just long ago, when we repainted the flower boxes that used to be out there, we actually got samples and we had several, we did the trim, we did a mock-up, what you're talking about, and, city staff and the public commented on it, and, people were happy with the choice. Or, they could be, but Mr. Cooney would be helpful.
But meanwhile, let's vote on, what's.
So I need a motion.
Container.
Oh, and I was gonna ask a question first.
Okay.
The very first page, it looks like includes the city hall and the annex. And it's much lower than the rest of, because they bid it out separately, correct?
Correct.
So this is, what is the name of this company?
This is the lowest bid, LG Works LLC, they're based out of DeBerry. They'd like to start working in Crescent City. They've done some residential, work around town, but they specialize in commercial work, and, I would, recommend
your
using them.
recommendation?
They would be able to start within 10 days.
And essentially, besides that, the bids are for the same amount of work, right?
Correct.
The stuff has already been repaired.
The stuff has been repaired,
And
but
that is-
actually this firm identified some other areas that they would include. You'll notice there's some concrete patching and some additional stuff of work that their crew can, have included in their bid. And it also, includes caulking, with some water intrusion on the exterior, so they would address that.
Okay, so I move that we authorize LD Works LLC to repaint City Hall and the City Hall and Annex buildings with a color to be decided at a future moment in the next week or something.
At a future date.
At a future time, but not like, I don't wanna wait, we need to get some samples, paint on the side of the wall, and decide next week when we get back from the convention.
So we have a second,
Second.
so we have a proper motion and a second. Are we good? Any other discussion? Okay, all in favor? No, let's have the clerk do a roll call.
Oh, we're just-
Commissioner DeVito?
This is from the money we put into the budget for the
Well,
building.
this is what we're saying is that that's in the general fund. So I think that was one of the recommendations, that this also could come out a better place at this time because it has more than a 5-year lifespan. How long ago was this building painted?
About 80, I think.
Well over 25 years ago, and
Yeah.
her staff has been here that long.
Yeah.
That's our recommendation, to put in place funds.
Okay.
All right.
Commissioner DeVito,
Aye.
Commissioner Wardy,
Aye.
Commissioner Moore,
Aye.
Commissioner Burton,
Aye.
Mayor Myers.
Aye, okay, so approved. And I have to say, I'm never a white wall person,
Mhm.
but that
Looks
white
better the more I
is,
look at it.
Chris, it
I
does
like
look,
that.
it does
It's
look
real
sharp.
sturdy from
Except for
all
it's
the
gonna show, except for it will show dirt.
really
And
quickly.
I can tell you, the dust I do not recommend white, the dust from the highway will turn anything white very dark and
Yeah.
black. And
Oh, I'm sure.
if you smear it, it's permanent.
Now, the green won't show as much mossy.
I do want to,
Just saying.
commissioners, I do wanna say this, is that, we've got workshops scheduled, but we don't have a workshop to bring back our general fund. And I think before we go into the final, budget on September 10th, we desperately need to bring back our general fund because we still have work to do on
I
our
agree.
general fund.
We have very incomplete.
Our enterprise funds are coming out, but we haven't done it, but our general fund, I'm talking about our general fund. It needs to be reviewed again.
Yes, it does.
Hey, Mayor, thank you so much.
So I think before we leave, we need to set up another.
And that's before we leave, but meanwhile, we got a half an hour, we got a couple more things to do here.
So we're going, but that's important that we get that taken care of there too. So we go to city manager's report, so.
Wait. I asked, we have the
What do you
alternate.
have?
No, I'm fine with that, just keep moving the microphones, and it squeaks every time.
Sorry.
No.
Okay, no more squeaking?
Okay.
All right.
Winn-Dixie.
Yes.
So on Winn-Dixie, last count we had, and I know we've got quite a few pages in writing, last count we
Is
have.
this on the agenda?
No, she asked for it, she asked for an update, she just asked for an update at the beginning of the meeting. And the commission,
Did you bring it after the meeting?
How? Okay, sorry about the squeaking. I brought it up because, I think it's pretty much now or never. It's been quite a while since I talked to Laura Pavlos at the chamber, and she urged us, if we were going to take any action, to make it as soon as possible. So I wanted to get a status and see if we,
I have spoken to, Larry they are aware that we have a petition out there. They're very aware of that. He's been provided with a copy of it, and I was in communication with him. They still don't know anything right now. He hasn't been told anything, and he is trying to get with, I guess, the regional, to set up the meeting.
okay, regional Winn-Dixie.
Yes,
Okay,
Southeastern Grocers and Aldi.
okay.
So whoever his regional is right now, which is through the Aldi, but I guess also through Southeastern. So he's
Right.
trying to get that set up. And so that's where we are with that. And right now we have 987 signers, plus we're over 1,000 when you consider, the ones that are in writing as well. So I told him that we wanted to be able to take those, to them also. So anybody,
Okay, so my.
so you said you dealt with Monticello?
Right, I talked to, I saw an article, that was originally on WCTV out of Tallahassee. Very, very, very sharp secretary of the chamber. She's, formerly lived in Volusia County, very familiar with Crescent City. She was a council person for a municipality there. The article was, I'm sorry, we have decorum rules here.
No, we're way off subject, this is not on the agenda.
Commissioner Burton, she asked at the beginning of the meeting and the commissioner agreed to it. So she asked for an update, that's all.
If I could just talk, I could finish. So, her name is, now I can't even remember her name. I have her name. Very, very sharp. Their conversion is moving very fast. She has contact names. If you would like, I can forward them to the commission. But her recommendation is that whatever it is we're going to do, we do as soon as possible. She also said she tried to contact, you and the city manager several weeks, maybe a month or so ago. She wanted to talk to you folks because she knew we were on possible conversion as well.
Okay.
And she said, she wasn't specific about when it was, but she said she did not hear back. So she was glad I called. I just happened to see the article. But I can forward the contact information that she gave me. And she just said as soon as possible because the information flow has been very slim. And I guess the indication I got from her is that sooner is better. They don't tell you anything. They haven't applied for a permit, but they've applied for a sign permit.
Okay.
So she says, step on it. So are you going to make an appointment as soon as you are able to get one?
Yes, that's what we're trying to do right now.
Okay, and I will forward the
Please do.
information she gave me to our
Please do.
city manager and you can share it with everybody.
Okay,
Okay,
so please do. Okay,
all
thank
right,
you.
that
We'll
was
go
the
to-
update.
Okay, thank you for that. City manager report?
So, first and foremost, I received an email today. This is not on my city manager report, but I wanted to make you all aware. After good effort from my predecessor, Charles Rudd, the Florida legislature elected not to fund the Colbert Community Park Phase 1 project in our FERDAP for 2025-2026. We are going to go back and reapply. The application cycle opens September 1st of this year.
For what now?
Colbert Park, Community Park Phase 1. So I just wanted to make you all aware of that.
The bathroom and the other stuff that we were.
Okay, so basically FERDAP wasn't, our FERDAP application was not funded.
It was not funded.
Okay,
And was that because we were ranked too low and they only funded a certain amount, or?
I couldn't tell you that there's no detail in the email that I got. It was just, sorry.
You got that today though,
Yes,
correct?
I got it today and I will forward you all the email.
And just maybe consult with Fred Fox to see,
Yes.
since they usually have a clarity on those things.
I will ask you, just because time permitting, if there's anything specific you need to talk about with me in the report. I did provide attachments like last time. There are a couple things that I did want to talk to you about that were important, but I wasn't sure if there's something specific that any of y'all have questions on.
well, Mayor, I have a question about the status of our IT contract and the RFP. Okay, so in the July meeting, it said that we would bring back the Inspire Technologies contract in August, and everybody got an answer to my question to you in email. You said you're putting it out for RFP. Don't we have to approve RFPs that go out? And what happened to the Inspire Technologies contract? We can cancel any time, or is there a deadline?
We still have an out on the contract.
We have what?
We have an out on the contract.
And what is that out?
They had a contract for renewal,
Right?
but we have not signed their contract for renewal. We don't have to sign that contract for renewal at this time.
Okay, but the existing contract, was there a drop dead date for an out for that? Are we going along like month to month?
We're not, and basically right now we have 30 days that we have to give them if we were to cancel with them. But
Okay, that's what I'm saying, it is 30 days.
30 days,
Okay,
correct. And we have not finalized an RFP. That is something that we have discussed, staff's discussed, finalizing this week to be able to put in front of you all at the next meeting that we have.
okay, I just want to get clarification on that because the email sounded like you were putting out an RFP. And, okay, so that's coming up in September.
Yes.
Okay,
Putting out an RFP not to the world, just to you all.
okay,
For us to approve.
To review and have input, yes.
okay.
And I was
That's good.
given a national standard for security, that Commissioner Lori had given us. And so that is probably gonna be a piece of the standard that we utilize when we collected the information to come up with the finalized RFP.
Okay, well, thank you for the good work, just want to make sure, because that, their new contract for Inspire Technologies had quite a hefty cancellation penalty.
Yes,
Right, so but that doesn't apply to us. All right,
it does not.
Thanks for the good work.
One thing,
Any other questions? Go ahead.
I was just gonna say one thing, it's on my first page under administration, these are line items that office staff, myself are working on. I wanted to bring to the top to your attention, the NOFO, with Monica, Dominguez, and this is, $100,000 grant right now for wastewater infrastructure assessment. We were asked, we were told we could streamline this and get this money for an assessment on our wastewater. At the same time in the meeting, they wanted more information from us in regards to what type of plans did the city have for expansion of our infrastructure to specifically commercial and industrial uses. I got with Keith, he sent an email out to Jason Shepler. They came out and basically you can read this, what's in here. This is an excerpt from the email. They basically said that it wouldn't be conducive for us at this point, that there are other grants to go after, that this particular one for more money would not be worth its weight at this time. So we reached out to our engineer to see what they thought about this. And at this point in time, I believe that we are going to stand down on moving forward with yes, the Dominguez.
Okay.
And that was just an assessment of our wastewater system.
Correct.
And evaluation and
Correct.
plans for the future.
Correct.
Okay.
The other thing that's important that I wanted to note is this, let me get in here, I apologize. We have a long-standing order at the wastewater plant. We have 5 wells. This is an issue that's been ongoing
Test
for
wells,
the
correct.
test wells, correct? A number of years. We are in, I'm sorry,
We're gonna be fine.
we're gonna be fined
Yeah, $15K.
$15,000.
Yeah.
However,
Yes, however, there is an out with a permit through our engineering company, Midtower CPH, that they can do a study. And while we are in that study, they will hold off on any type of fines during that time,
Okay, but right after that would be fine.
if it's not fixed.
That's the way I read it.
Now, I will tell you this, and I don't know how we get into this when we start talking to the regulatory body, but under the old permit and the time that they built this plant, it was their recommendation, and I mean the state recommendation on the placement of these wells. From my investigation, I found out that they asked, there's 2 monitoring wells, 5 total, 2 that are actually sample wells. One of them, the state told the city where to put it, and they did not have historical information on that property. There was a house that was removed, and they put it right by an actual septic field. And you wonder why the nitrates are high. So a lot of these things are happening. I believe that the state should have, shared.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just telling you, what happened. So it's something that we'll discuss with them. I do have a meeting coming up with them directly.
I mean, just paying the fines and not changing anything is not going to work.
It doesn't matter.
We're just
We're
gonna find
gonna
it,
change a few things.
And- right, And they are, I was told that the fines happen one time and they don't happen again after that. It's kind of a stop from the state.
and Chip has been working with them on this, trying to,
Yes.
there's only 2 of these in the state.
Correct. It's kind of a rarity, yes.
Wow. 2 of these type of test wells. I guess supposedly in the entire state. So Chip has been trying to work with them on this,
Yes, he has.
okay?
Those are the 2 main items that I had in there. Everything else is
Anybody have any other
self-explanatory.
questions of Mr. Martin?
I just wanted to get clarification on one item. I had asked about this, so for the North Main Street water project, is that contract going to come back to us for approval before it goes out to bid?
Christina? On the,
I think it would have to go out to bid and then we contract with the firm who gets accepted, is my understanding, but I'm not well versed on that. I'd have to-
yeah, I'll have to get back with you specifically on that because I know that your email, I had Jason Shepler answer the questions that you originally had. So that's a new question and I'll have to get back with you on that. But anything we decide, of course, or contract-wise, we're gonna bring back to the commission before we,
It would come back
Move
to us
forward.
for approval.
Right.
The bid would come back to us, just like it did over on Prospect.
previously.
Right, but for Prospect Street and South Main, the actual design of the project and the bid documents came to us for approval.
But we
So
also,
that we,
included we were discussing North Main at the same time. Jason Shetler, in fact, he rerouted some of them because we were looking at North Main. We looked at all four projects really at the same time. And that was
so
the
North Main was
discussion.
included.
Yes, because we moved several of and did the
Okay.
flooring and
The
stuff.
same process will
For the
follow.
trees, protection of the trees.
And the protection of the trees, which is an email that I did send you back.
And so,
Okay, so what Commissioner Lori is saying is that when we did the approval, it was for the North Main leg.
right,
So
we were talking to Jason and talking about the trees and the
Okay.
the boring we included,
Okay,
and we were looking at North Main as well, because I remember, because I'm by North Main.
okay, and
So I
actually,
remember looking
okay,
at the trees.
I think you are correct, because I can remember taking those documents to North Main Street before we voted. Okay, got it. I'm clarified.
There's
Yeah,
office
that's
there, there was a little.
Okay, so
Okay, I'm
with that, are we done with the city manager's report?
it. We're done and lots of good work.
Okay, update on the retail strategies for the grant.
Yes, and that's also in there. Just want to give you all an update. Staff really appreciates you all jumping on that quickly and discussing that, allowing us to move forward. Retail Strategies put together a really nice proposal, and we ended up getting it out on time. I have not heard anything back, but I will be following up this week and next week to see if there's any movement on it. But all of our letters and reference letters went out on an email on the 31st.
And that did not require me to, just for the record, that it did not require me to sign anything. Currently, I'm getting an email from Department of Economic Commerce, yeah, and they're asking me for a signature. And it's a DocuSign, and so I've gotten, I believe, 3 emails, and so we're not signing it, and I've reached out to, and it is an actual person who does work there, so I have contacted that, and I've reached out to them through an email and through the phone message, just to, ask them if in fact they are sending this, and if there's something that's required. So I just for the record, in case that comes back, because I'm not signing anything, nor are we going into that at this time.
I'm more concerned if that email was a phishing email.
Yeah, it probably was.
Yeah.
Because they can still send it.
Yeah.
That person's name.
That
and
person's
just take it
name,
up.
yeah.
And
And
that's-
it
that's
came in
very
on,
common.
a Friday, a Sunday, and
Yeah.
a Monday, so.
Yeah, they don't, yeah.
Same thing's going on with the DEP, where they're asking me to sign something as well, so
I
I've
just saw
asked
that,
Dave
like,
to work with that.
And the cybersecurity thing was talking about.
So, let's go to the city attorney.
Yes, our next item, city attorney, update on the complaint against commissioner. There's an attachment CA in your booklets, and if you will be able to speak to that, sir.
I don't have a booklet, so I don't know what your attachment is.
This is your letter.
This is from Terry Robinson.
Not as clearly, this is the letter from the engagement for legal services.
Okay, the investigator has been engaged. Letters that she recommends being sent to the complainant as well as the subject of the investigation. Form letters have been provided to the city manager today for him to send out, just basically informing of the investigation and of the fact that she'll be contacting those persons as well as others. I'll be asking for basic information from the city manager as to the people that probably should be contacted as in the course of the investigation. I think I sent you an email today, but it was late in the day after I got out of trial, so you
Yes,
probably
sir.
haven't had a chance to look at it.
Yes, sir.
And then she'll be starting to contact people in the very near future, next few days. Her name is Shannon Kelly. She is an experienced investigator, has performed a number of investigations in the past. She's an attorney, working with a firm of CRA Robinson, which is a very well-known legal firm, law firm. So I'm quite sure she'll perform with professionalism and thoroughness.
Commissioners, do you have any questions of Mr. Holmes?
I have one, but it's not on that subject.
can we finish out and then you can ask him, so we, the update on the Bailey versus, Governor DeSantis? Who wants to?
I wasn't done.
Oh, you
Okay,
have
so that's
a-
not mine, but
Okay,
I have another item, okay.
But I was done this one, yeah.
okay, so go ahead.
In here it says that it's a flat fee of $7,000, but then it also says in addition to professional services, will multiply for all disbursements and out-of-pocket expenses, including document reproduction, travel expenses, long distance phone calls, mailing charges, facsimile charges, passenger service, it's really hard to read, and filling out recording fees. I just want us to be aware of that. So I mean, what the flat fee is that, and then there's, if the attorney is called for to subpoena or the, provide testimony, it's $625 an hour. But I just want us to be aware that that's not the only fee. I mean.
The 7,000 covers her providing a written report. If you wanted to go beyond that, or if you're required to go beyond it, that's gonna be a different engagement.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that that was not, we aren't gonna get charged for that report and facsimile fees and all that. I mean, it seems like.
Well, big law firms charge for copy paper.
No, I understand that. I just want us to be aware of that.
Yeah.
So.
Matter of fact, I had one attorney tell me that if he had 7 copiers, he wouldn't need an extra attorney.
Okay, that's it.
You done? Okay.
One more final, or another issue that's, as of today, I have been in communication with Ellen Avery Smith from Rogers Towers regarding MOU with the folks that are in negotiations to buy the China Walk, having to do with the code enforcement lien. We discussed a modification of the MOU that she had prepared. She's a very competent attorney, by the way. I've dealt with her in the past in regard to land use matters. She provided me a modified version of it today in accord with our conversation, which I found to be totally acceptable. Just making it clear that you had agreed to reduce the fine to the $25,000 contingent upon them bringing everything into compliance, rather than quite frankly, I don't think she was at the meeting where you took that action. I'm not sure I was either. The MOU was a little bit vague in terms of the reduction. That was my concern, that if we had a certain amount that had been agreed upon, that amount be included in the MOU. She agreed, fixed it. I have it now. I'll be advising the city manager to sign it so that they can move forward, because it's my understanding that the potential buyer would not move forward with the sale until he had some certainty, or they had some certainty about the fine reduction. So that'll be happening tomorrow. And I think that's all I got.
That's awesome. Good job, sir.
I had a couple questions.
Yes.
Okay, so one, at the last meeting, Commissioner Lori and I, both filed, Form 8s for conflict of interest. Or maybe, Form 8B, sorry, from the Ethics Commission on Conflict of Interest. The form, I noticed the form says that we have to file it within 15 days after the vote occurs, with the person responsible for recording the minutes of the meetings and reading from the form, who should incorporate the form in the minutes.
Okay, I got a copy of that in our minutes. There's a copy.
But, well, I just got 2 copies of it, so I just want to make sure that is the correct procedure. That's what it says on the form.
It'll be filed with them.
Okay.
So that an official copy.
And then, sometimes emails get lost, but I had sent our city attorney an email asking for guidance. Sometimes one or more commissioners are in a meeting together where, for a community event or issue, where something might be discussed that could later come up on a commission meeting. Commissioner Lori and I just went to Historic Preservation Conference, and we would like to get together with the other 2 people who went and do a debrief so that we could plan a presentation. We really could use guidance on making sure that we could notice that properly so that we could talk about it. Obviously, it will be in a public place. Minutes would be taken. And I just need to make sure that the that it could be noticed properly. We need some guidance on that. And I said, should I,
So very quickly, I can tell you that there's no prohibition against two commissioners attending a meeting. There would be a prohibition if either of you spoke. So
but I'm saying,
I understand, I think
can we not notice it and open it to the public?
you can, but I thought you said you already attended a meeting.
No, we've attended a conference.
They want to do a debriefing after the conference is what I'm getting. You want to do a debriefing with the two of you and two other people?
Yes.
Even if you attend a conference,
Right.
neither of you can speak if the other one is present, otherwise that's communication. So you can
Right.
attend your conference.
Yeah, we weren't in the same classes at conference.
Well, and commissioners in Crescent City are frequently at meetings where all kinds of things are discussed, but we don't speak. We know better than that, whether it's a Rotary or whatever it happens to be, or a group of people at Three Bananas, we just don't. But the issue is to do this debrief or to be in.
As long as you notice it publicly, notice that two or more commissioners are gonna be present at a meeting at a given place and time. Public's invited to attend. You said you're gonna take minutes.
Right, so would we, number one, we need the clerk to provide the notice at City Hall.
Your meetings now are noticed by way of, what do you notice them in the paper?
Paper signs.
On the website.
Papers, website, and what? Post to City Hall. So however you notice your meetings now, notice this meeting the same way.
Right, and then, if, when the minutes are taken, should those be recorded with the clerk? Should we forward those to the clerk?
I think it'd be good practice to do so.
Okay, so
Okay.
that, yes,
Okay.
that's very
Okay.
helpful.
I want to go back to, we've got Bailey versus Governor DeSantis.
Versus Lori. I don't know.
Versus Lori, yeah,
Wow.
versus Lori. And so
Can I-
quickly, because I have to do we need a workshop date, so give us
The first DCA, District Court of Appeals, has issued a ruling or opinion, and has affirmed the decision of the trial circuit court and not granting a writ of quo warranto to former Commissioner Bailey. And so as far as, unless he decides to appeal it further in the next 30 days, which my attorney does not think will happen, I am officially a commissioner for now. Then I'll tell everyone,
you would take that to the, he'd have to appeal it to the Supreme
he would
Court,
have to, yeah.
and they would have to accept it.
Right. And especially with, I mean, when they completely agreed with the trial court's, decision, that it was a concurrence of all three judges, it would be very likely that they would take it up.
Okay.
Right.
So commissioners, we have on here, I want to get this workshop date, so if everybody pull out their calendars. Right now, we have the 19th, we've got a workshop on our enterprise funds at 10 o'clock. Do we just want to use that day and do our general fund, or do you want to do it on another day?
Well, I mean, we have a conflict too.
Okay, you have a conflict
So
too?
choose that day, yeah, so I was planning on this being-
Frankly, I don't know that there's enough time for them to get the documents to us and give us time.
Okay, what does the 26th look like? The 26th, we've got the 25th, 26th, 27th. I don't want to go too far because that goes over into, so the 25th, 26th, 27th. Commissioners, how does your calendars look for any of those days?
I have nothing.
I think I'm good. Wait, and this is August, right?
August?
Yeah.
Okay, 25th, 26th, 27th.
How do you look?
Gotcha.
The 25th, that would be the better day, okay?
Monday the 25th.
Monday the 25th,
No, I can't do Monday.
you can't do a Monday? Okay, what is the so the 26th doesn't look good, it's not good, what about the 27th?
27th,
Huh, what is the 27th?
the 27th, we can.
You can't do the 27th.
On the 28th?
I think there's already a city meeting on that day.
The
Isn't it?
Garden,
That's Tree and Garden at 1 p.m.
2.
or 2 o'clock? Okay.
And neither one of you can do it on the 28th?
I could do 20.
You can do a
What
20.
time? That's key for me.
That's what?
What
time?
Oh, it'd be early. It'd probably be early. It would be, we could either do it at 10 or 1, you know. You
Or
could
they do
do
it
it
on
late
just
morning.
Tree and garden, maybe.
Means that too.
I would suggest.
10 a.m.,
10 a.m., 10 a.m.
10 o'clock?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. 10
On the
o'clock.
28th?
Mhm.
Okay, so let's do it
And
for
there's this
that.
one.
This workshop on our general fund.
Yes, and Mayor, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I think that's very needed.
Okay, if everybody's in agreement, let's go back. We've got cybersecurity executive level training. You've got 1 minute.
That
For
was
senior
just-
leadership in Florida State and local government.
That was just my certification, I took another.
So this is your certification.
Yeah, and I am
That's
working-
recognizing that. Okay.
And I'm currently working with Derek on getting our meeting the requirements of the law.
Congratulations, and yes,
Mayor, so what Commissioner Boyer is reminding us of is, I think we are all obligated to take this training, but we have not yet taken it.
Yeah. But I'm really gonna find out, even with Inspire or something else, there is that other program, Know Before, which actually, I've been playing with it, or, trying it out, and it's actually quite good. It's just gonna be some money, but it allows you to test people, and actually you can even send out fake phishing emails, and it'll tell you if anybody opened them and all that stuff. So it's really, a great choice, but I think we'll have to implement.
And Mayor,
But yes, you guys.
I think you would be good at teaching a class. You seem to be navigating this very well.
yeah, no,
You got that.
I'm doing class. I can barely turn on a printer.
Well,
I
so,
can't get anything
Well,
to
nobody
print,
can turn on
so
printers.
I'm the last person you want to do a computer
but
training.
no.
Okay, so I need a motion
To adjourn.
to adjourn.
I move that we adjourn.
Okay, we have a motion to adjourn, and do I have a second?
Thank you.
Okay, all in favor, say aye. Aye, so adjourned. Thank you all very much.
You said 10 a.m. was the-
10 a.m.
Force me to eat, I'm gonna start drinking for it.
Don't think that's not.
I'll go well, I made it.